Hello everybody, happy Friday! What are you up to? What are you doing? What have you got planned this weekend? I think it's going to be, now touch wood, think it's going to be okay weather. Just putting it out there, in the UK, I think it's going to be nice. It's quite nice outside today. I have to say, when I came up yesterday, it was swelteringly hot at 6 o'clock in the morning when I was walking to my train. And by the time I got here, I had to put a jumper on. It was a little bit chilly. So want to say welcome. It's nice to see everybody that's messaging in to say hello. I am here all day today with the lovely Lily. Hello, Lily. How are you?
Hello. I'm very well, thank you. I feel like I've not been here for absolutely ages. Honestly, it feels
you
like
were here yesterday.
Well, I'm always in the building, we know that, but I mean in the studios with you guys at home, so I'm super excited to be with you all day today. We've got an amazing new launch, and of course it's Friday, so of course we will be finishing off the week in style with Friday Night Live, which I'm very much looking forward to, including the game.
The games. Ooh. I do love the games. In fact, I was looking over here and I was thinking, oh look, the boards are ready for the games. If I don't win, I'm going to be very unhappy, as will Lily if she doesn't win. So maybe it'll be a tie. Maybe it'll be a tie.
I don't think so.
Do you not think so?
Do
we know what the game is?
We do.
Oh, well, I don't.
Yes.
What is it?
It's kind of like you'll get to see an image of a product, but you won't be able to see it properly. It'll be a little bit blurred, and then it'll become clear and clear and clear. You've got to buzz in first, so you've got to be quick on those buzzers, fastest fingers first, to get those votes in. And what's it going to be? So I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, that sounds quite good. I think I'm probably going to lose out on that one because Lily has encyclopedic knowledge when it comes to any crafting item, I think. But we'll give it a whirl anyway. So a few hellos from people that are here. So Emma Thrower is saying hello. Lois is saying good morning everyone from Ohio. Ohio. Nancy says good morning from Kentucky. Ruth is here saying afternoon Becky, Lily, CTV team and chatty crafty people. Linda's here saying good morning, and Zoe Carver is here afternoon from West Sussex. Crystal is here saying good morning, good afternoon for everyone. Rachel says she's going on a shopping trip tomorrow. Early start and late home, but it'll be fun. What are you going to buy? It sounds like it's a big mammoth shopping day. I want to know what you're going to be buying. Will it be edible? I'd like to know you're going to be getting cake. Kim says, hello ladies, a long time no see. I haven't been here for a couple of weeks, I think. It feels like it's been a long time since I've been here.
I think the last time you was on, I think that I was on as well.
Yeah.
I think it was both of us too.
I think it was when Ben was on one of his many holidays.
Yeah.
And we've got Pat saying, good morning everyone from New Jersey. Karen is saying hello, Becky and Lily. Work done for today, so time to watch you on CCTV. Love to everybody. Oh, and Rachel says she's buying pretty much everything because the kids just grow and use lots of, growing out. I suppose that's the time for people to come buying all the things to go back to school, aren't they? And I suppose in the US, they're going back to school earlier. They go back to school in August, don't they?
Oh, do they?
I think that's right. So yeah, it's all getting the shoes.
Oh dear.
And the school uniform, and you put your blazer on, and you're like, it's a bit too tight. And that's when your mum goes, we'll get a new one, and then the arms are down there. I think we've all been there. So lovely to see you all. Message us in, let us know what you're going to be getting up to this weekend. Right, now the first item we're going to show you on launch day is the Showstopper, which we've got just here. Brand new magazine. I love these magazines. I think they are so worthwhile getting. Even if you seasoned crafting, you just need that little bit of a prompt. But you've got so many different things in here. We've got, in this Showstopper, you've got the magazine, which we're going to show you in depth. You've also got a selection of our luxury cardstock. So you've got that mirrored cardstock, you've got that satin mirrored cardstock, and you've got the encapsulated red glitter cardstock, which is gorgeous. You've also got a selection of foam pads, you've got some gilding flakes, and you've of course got a tape pen, something that we all need. £40 or $50. The platinum price is £32 or $40, and you get 100 bonus points as an extra if you want to pop that into your basket. Lily, these magazines, I mean, I think once you've bought one, you're going to want all of them, aren't you? You want to be able to collect the whole lot because they're so very useful, aren't they?
Absolutely, they are incredible. So what if I said to you guys at home, how about 185 different hints, tips and projects for all of your Christmas crafting? sounds pretty good, doesn't it? But what about we include all of those key items that you're going to need to actually recreate those projects? So we're going to bring to you 29 stamps. There's going to be 32 double-sided sheets of toppers of beautiful Christmas papers. Then we're going to throw in a die. We're going to throw in an embossing folder and a stencil as well. You're going to get all of those goodies. How about as well, we add in a little bit of behind-the-scenes gossip. Maybe you want to learn a little bit more about the team here at Crafters Companion. And then we're going to package it all into one of these beautiful presentation boxes. They look incredible on your shelves in your craft room, but how about that for a Christmas gift as well? And all of that is going to be coming to you for that incredible price just for that magazine. But of course, we always want the best value for money, but we also want as many crafty goodies as we can physically get our little crafty mitts on, and that's exactly what you'll get as part of the Showstopper. I think these are truly invaluable. I actually started collecting these, it must be over 10 years ago now. Our magazines have we've had different versions over the years. This is our sort of latest and greatest version where we actually collaborate with the guys at Practical Publishing to give you the most inspiration and the best value possible. But I actually started collecting the very original incarnation. Issue number 2 is where I started, and it must be over a decade ago. So if anyone at home has been collecting them for that long, let us know. But it definitely is one of those, when you start collecting, you've got to have them all. We can never have too much inspiration, and this is a perfect place just to give your mojo a little bit of a boost, or maybe just learn some new techniques that you've never even seen before. A fantastic thing to be adding into your crafty stash.
Absolutely. Are you not annoyed that you don't have episode 1, don't have launch issue 1?
Becky, it was awful. I am a complete and utter completionist when it comes to crafting. If I buy issue 1, I've got to have issue 2. If I've got 2 dies in the collection, I've got to have the whole collection. I could not find, for love nor money, all those years ago, issue number 1. So I started from issue number 2. I got all the rest of that that sort of collection of magazines, but issue number 1, couldn't find it on the auction sites, couldn't find it anywhere. Honestly, it broke my little crafty heart.
So if anyone at home happens to have a launch item number 1 of the magazine, you know who to sell it to. Lily, definitely. Now, if you wanted to go just for the magazine, of course you can do. That is available to you. So you're going to get all of the tips and techniques, as well as all the goodies in there. But it's £14.99 or £19.99. Platinum price is £11.99 or $15.99. But of course, you won't get all the other bits and pieces in the Showstopper, and you won't get those extra bonus points. But you work out what you want to do. You do get 50 bonus points. So, you know, we're trying to give you a little bit of a helping hand anyway. Right, Cindy Thompson says she can be working tomorrow and then going to put gas in my car and put money in the bank. And then tomorrow I'm going to an event at my son's place on Sunday, and on Sunday I'll be crafting. And Tay says I'm from London working as a watch. I love a new magazine. I can't speak today. I love a new magazine. Lily, we're going to see what's inside this magazine, aren't we?
Absolutely. Should we do a little bit of an unboxing to show all the incredible goodies, as well as all the inspiration that you're going to get as part of this magazine? Now, these are going to stack so easily on your shelves. So if you're anything like me and are collecting all these magazines, just stack them on your shelves. When you need a little bit of inspiration, just go in, have a little bit of a leaf through, and you've got tons and tons of ideas, maybe techniques that you want to try, maybe techniques that you've forgotten about. Perhaps you're brand new to crafting and you need that little bit of a place to start. This is absolutely going to do that for you. So it's coming in that beautiful presentation box. And first up, do you know what? I think I'm going to go in, first of all, with our fantastic kits. So these are all of your crafty goodies that you are getting as part of this magazine. So we're starting off with our stamp set, and this is an A5 stamp set with a whopping 29 clear stamps included within this one set. And if any of you at home have got the beautiful Holly and Ivy collection, you'll notice that that scroll is a little bit similar to one of the stamps in there, but it is different. So it will work hand in hand with those stamps, but there's no duplicates when it comes to other ranges that we've previously bought you. You've got all of your sentiments, and you can mix and match these to build up your own sayings, to build up your own greetings for those Christmas cards. And this one at the bottom here that does look a little bit funny, I have to say. When you first read it, you think, hey, that don't make a lot of sense. You're Merry Bright, you think, dear, that's a bit odd. But then you flip it over and you have a look at your other stamp. You've got your May, Days Be, and all you do is you use those as 2 layering stamps. You stamp one, you stamp the other, and it builds together. So it makes total sense when you bring those 2 together in that way. So that's all of your gorgeous 29 stamps included as part of this collection. And then we move on to our dies. And what I love about our magazines, we've done this for years and years. Some of you will remember when we actually brought you with our older magazines, you always had a CD-ROM in. Anyone still got those CD-ROMs? I used to absolutely love love them. But we've always brought you a variety. So it's not a case of we're going to bring you, I don't know, 3 sets of stamps or 3 sets of dies. We bring you variety. So stamps, then we have our die, which is absolutely incredible in terms of the level of detail you've got on there. It's that pair of bells, of course, brilliant for your Christmas cards, but you can be using that for maybe wedding cards, anniversary cards as well. It will be beautiful for that. But if you've never tried intricate die cutting before, what a fantastic place to start and get you started on that die cutting journey. Then next up, we've got the most exquisite embossing folder. Look at that. How useful is that going to be? It's just absolutely gorgeous. You've got that mistletoe design in there. It's a 2D, 6 inches by 4 inches in size. This one, we're going to sort of touch of sparklify it a little bit later if you like. If you did treat yourself to our touch of sparkle pearls, our touch of sparkle gems with your adhesive and that amazing sticky picky uppy tool and pokey tool. We're going to do a little bit of glitzing and glamming that a little bit later on. If you pick out all those gorgeous little mistletoe berries, it looks incredible. And then next up we go to our stencil. Now I always think stencils are one of those things that we have in our crafty stash that are a little bit underused, I have to say, because you're so versatile. You can actually turn all of these stencils, including this one, into an embossing folder, run it through your die cutting machine, that design will emboss for you. You can be bringing in your fantastic glitter pastes, which what we're going to do a little bit later on. You can bring in all of your different types of inks. It could be your shimmer ink pads that we've got on the show, it could be your opaque pigment, it could be your water reactive, duet, all of those blending inks you can ink through that stencil. You can spritz through it, or you can even bring in your little pens, your little fine liners, and actually doodle into that design to create almost like a stamped image. So very versatile when it comes to that 5 by 5 inch stencil. But then we'll come to the magazine itself, and I'm going to flick straight to the middle first up, because that's where we've got our papers, and you've got 32 sheets of not just papers but toppers as well, all double-sided. And if you have a little look at this page as contrast to this page here, this is obviously our main body of the magazine. It's got that lovely sort of shiny magazine quality paper, but completely different when we go onto our toppers. These are uncoated, so if you want to bring in your inks, your spritzers, your glitter paste and add further finishes to these, you can by all means do that because it is uncoated, but double-sided as well. So you've got your beautiful toppers, your sentiments, your little embellishments all included on that side there. You can be creating your cards very quickly and easily with these beautiful elements. And they're all sort of reminiscent of some of our paper pads that we brought you this year. You've got that gorgeous plaid design on the reverse there. You've got things that you can be using for your tags, your gift wrapping, as well as your Christmas cards. How absolutely stunning is that with all the layers of detail? You've got your plaid in your background, you've got those lovely berries, your lanterns in the foreground. It's all on there to allow you to create with. And then we move on to our A4 double-sided papers. These are truly exquisite. The craftsmanship that's gone into creating these is truly incredible. Snip into that, maybe going to layer elements over the top. These are just the most beautiful sort of vintage style papers. That one could be using all year round as well, so not just for your festive makes too, but these are just stunning. 32 sheets in total.
That's
You're getting
a lot.
tons. It's loads, isn't it? Lots and lots for you to create with. And all you're going to do when you get this home, I'm not going to do this because this is a studio set, so I won't steal the papers, I promise, but you're just going to remove that nice and easily from the middle. But then we're talking about inspiration. I did mention earlier a whopping 185 different projects within here. You've got lots and lots of different projects. You've even got projects from Sarah, so gorgeous scrapbook pages, not just your cards, but all of those festive creations that you want to be making for those Christmas cards, those Christmas gifts. You've got all these step-by-steps, you've got top tips, you've got so much inspiration within here. It is just truly invaluable to have in your craft stash. We even talked to you about some of our key products for your Christmas crafting, and we also have a little behind-the-scenes feature as well to show you a little bit more about the team that run our Evesham store down south there. So we've got all of our fantastic projects in there. All that inspiration, jam-packed full, all of that within that presentation box, your magazine with your papers, you've got your stencil, you've got your embossing folder, you've got your dies, and you've got 29 stamps, and if you're going for the Showstopper, you're getting all those goodies as well. And I love the fact that with that Showstopper as well, they're all consumable. So if you've already got a tape pen, if you've already got the red cardstock, now is the time to stock up when you've got it on that amazing deal. Oh my goodness, I love this magazine. I'm so excited for you guys at home to get your hands on this and get creating.
Fantastic. And when you look at, I've looked at comments on social media where people have said, I want to make this particular kind of card, but I don't really know where to start. And obviously the Crafters Companion community are always very sort of keen to help out. But having a magazine like this, even if you're not going to be using the Christmas, you're going to be buying this one and there are Christmas cards in it, but the fact that you've got all the information about how to make those particular cards, really invaluable to a new crafter as well as someone that's been crafting for a long time. and definitely well worth putting into your basket. Rosalind said these magazines come in so handy when I have a craft block and it gives me a push in the right direction. That is exactly what I agree with. And Amali says, I love these magazines, especially when I have a crafty sleepover. We have your friends over for a craft sleepover. I think we need more information on that. I quite like that idea.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
What a fabulous
Lily, you've got a
idea.
house.
I do.
Yeah, can we have a crafty sleepover?
I mean, it has 3 bedrooms. Only one of them is a bedroom. 2 of them are very, very full, bursting at the seams craft rooms. But, you know, we could make beds out of paper pads, you know, sleep on a paper pad.
Well, I mean, if it was good enough for the Olympians sleeping on cardboard boxes, it's good enough for us. This cardboard box, however, would probably be a little bit too hard, I reckon, for sleeping on, because this is quite sturdy. This is My Special Papers. These are the Christmas My Special Papers. I'm going to flick through them in a minute. I mean, everyone loves these boxes. This is a really sturdy box. Now, I would buy this for myself. In fact, I'd buy 2 of these for myself, and I'd buy 1 as a gift. And we have them on a special deal whereby you spell. Get
those teeth in. Come on now. Come on, pull yourself together.
Whereby you would purchase 2 of these and save 20%, 3 of them and save 30%. Why wouldn't you? Basically, it works out to be 17 pence per sheet. These are all 12 by 12 uncoated papers. Oh, and they're just so pretty. Can you see on there? Can I lift them up? Can you see them there?
Yeah, let's do it.
Look at those. Oh, I love this one. It's like Gingerbread Lane. We've got so many different ones in here. There's no way I can go through them all because there is 240 sheets in here, 120 of each different design. There's things here that you've seen before. You've got traditional designs. You've also got sort of more modern designs. A lot of Scandinavian kind of designs in there, but there are some brand spanking new different designs throughout here as well. I move them across, you're able to see all of these different designs. There's so much in here. We've got those ones from a sort of more of an activity kind of scene. You've got sort of foresty kind of ones.
Frosty and Bright.
Frosty and Bright, my favourite one of all time, I have to say. So many different designs in here. There is something for everybody in here. Now, this is going to last and last because I mean, unless you are super popular, and I suspect that many of you are, I doubt you're going to get through all of these pages this Christmas. But I'm sure you're going to be finding loads of other things to be making with them. Gift bags, using them. I have to say, I use these papers for wrapping. Rather than when I can't find a piece of wrapping paper I like. And I have to be honest, I prefer the paper pads for my wrapping paper. And they're really nice and sturdy. Really, really good idea to have. Now, these are single-sided, which is good because you then don't have to choose which one you want to give up, as it were. But I mean, look at that. Look how stunning that design is there. Works well for everybody, all sorts of different ideas. So if the price for this, just one, is £49.99 or $59.99. Platinum is $39.99 or $47.99. But you don't just want one. You want to multi-buy these because if you buy 2, you save 20%. If you buy 3, you save 30%. And I have to be honest, they make such a lovely gift because they're already in the box. My mum did get one of these.
Oh,
I did get one. I did get one for my mum because she was very upset that I hadn't managed to get hold of the other ones. But I did get this for my mum. She was absolutely amazed. I don't know if you're watching, Mum, but my mum couldn't actually lift it up because there is so much in here. So it's definitely worth popping into your basket. Love this. Really nice. Right, Lily, we've got some demonstrations, haven't we, with the Showstopper. I'm looking forward to seeing what you're going to be making.
Oh, we're going to do a little bit of crafting. Now, the way that I like to use the magazine is quite often I might directly copy the projects within that magazine. But more often than not, the way that I like to use these magazines is I'll have a little look through and there'll be certain elements that sort of capture my imagination. So it might be the colour scheme. That might be the basis of my next project. It could be the layout of that particular project. It could be the card shape. And that's exactly what we're going to use for this particular demo. We are going to be basing it on one of the gorgeous card shapes that is part of the magazine. So you can see on the back there, we've got that gorgeous circle rocker card. And that really did sort of catch my interest as I was leafing through the magazine. And that is going to be the basis for this card that we're going to create just now. But we're going to start off with that beautiful bell die here. Gorgeous detail within this metal die. So if we just remove that from its carrier sheet, you can see there we have got that beautiful intricate metal die. Let's grab a piece of our matte black cardstock and we're just going to take some of our low tack tape to make sure that doesn't move as it goes through that die cutting machine. As always, you know what I'm like, I don't like to waste any cardstock, so it's cut just to the size of our beautiful bells there. Taping that into position, and then with it being a thin metal die, it's your base cutting plate, then you've got your frosted shim, then we're going to go in with our magnetic shim, and then finally our top cutting plate. And that's the same platform whether you're using your Gemini 2 full A4 size plates like we are doing here, or if you are going in with your smaller plates like your Gemini Junior, because of course it will fit through on those smaller A5 sort of plates as well as your A4. So great if you've only got the smaller machines, even the Gemini Mini, it would go through that one a dream as well. So as that goes through our die cutting machine, it pushes all of those sort of like separates the fibres when it comes to die cutting, and that allows you to get that lovely crisp clean cut through our cardstock. To say this is a little bit of a gunky pokey tool there, so I might have some of the pieces.
It's got a bit of glue at the bottom of it, has it?
Yeah, it's a bit, I don't know where that's been, but it's it's not too clean, put it that way. I reckon it's probably been unclogging glue or something like that, and then the glue's just dried on it. So it's not too squeaky clean, but it should do the job just nicely.
Would you be able to use any of the Gemini machines for that particular die?
Absolutely, yeah. Let's have a little measure how big roughly it is. It's about 3 inches, roughly. So your mini's your 3 inches by 6, so it will go through that one, no problem at all as well. So maybe you're crafting with the kids or the grandkids, and you want to give them just a little manual machine to get crafting beside you. Maybe you're using your full-size machine, and you just want to give them their little manual machine to craft with. They can still be using this fabulous die through those smaller format machines. Now, it's always really important before you run that through your die cutting machine again to actually make sure that you've popped all of those pieces out of the die. Reason being is if you've still got a few little stragglers stuck in there and you try and run that through your die cutting machine, the cardstock basically doesn't have anywhere to go. So that means that you're not going to get such a crisp, clean cut if you've got a few little stragglers left in that die. So there we've got our beautiful design die cut from our black, and I think it really does show all of that intricacy absolutely perfectly when it comes to using your black cardstock.
Can I ask, in the Showstopper, we've got some of the luxury glitter card.
Oh, yes, we do.
Would that work with this particular die? Do you have to change the sandwich?
Do you know what, that is a brilliant question, Becky. Love it. You can tell you're a crafter. Great question, but no, you can be using your even your glitter cardstock with these dies, even though it's a really, I've got a block nozzle, even though it's a really...
That's why the pokey tool's dirty.
It probably was. Somebody's been sticking that in there, haven't they? Oh dear, dear oh dear. Anyway, back to the glitter card and the mirror card. So within your luxury cardstock, you've got your 3 different variations of what we call our luxury cards. So that's your mirror card, your satin card, and your glitter card. Because of the quality of not only these dies, but also the quality of that cardstock, because it's a really smooth glitter. It's not that really horrible sort of gritty texture. You know, some of the more inexpensive glitter cards, shall we say, they've got that really nasty texture. It's quite
crunchy, isn't it?
Yeah,
and then you touch it and there's glitter everywhere. No one likes that.
They
no
don't.
one wants glitter everywhere.
Especially when it's off somebody's dress, and then you go down to sit on a seat that somebody might have been sat on before you, and you come off that seat absolutely covered in glitter.
There's still glitter in the studio.
There is. It's not leaving. It's not leaving. But as stark contrast to that is our fabulous glitter card, because it's non-shed, so you can even die cut the most intricate of dies like this one from that glitter card, and it's not going to be everywhere, unlike somebody's dress, which is always a good thing. So yes, you can die cut any sort of surface, any sort of cardstock with that gorgeous intricate die. Now we've glued that using our fine tip glue applicator. You could be using your dotty tape pen to do that, but you want something that's going to be a nice sort of intricate gluing onto the back of there. So that's onto our white cardstock, and this is where we're going to do a little bit of colouring, and this is one of my sort of favourite techniques to do with a little intricate die cut like this one. So we're going to start off by colouring in our bell. Using our tri-blend brush pens. I absolutely adore these pens. I know we've got one of the boxes on the show for you guys at home if you wanted to give these a little go today, if you've never tried them before. Tri-blends are absolutely incredible because they allow you to get those blended and shaded effects super easily without needing to know anything about colour theory, without needing to know about different colour families, because within each and every single one of these pens, you've got 3 different tones of the same colour family. So you've got your light tone, which is what we're using now. tone, you've got your mid-tone and you've got your darkest tone. And the way I work with these is I work with my lightest tone first. So I lay down that lightest colour. I'm actually leaving a few sort of preserved highlights where I'm not laying down any colour onto that bow, just like so. So laying down that lightest colour, and then I move up towards my darkest colour. So we're going to go over some of that area that we've just coloured, not all of it, we still want some of that nice light red colour showing. But towards the edges, we're going to have it looking a little bit darker. So just flicking, using that brush nib. And for me, this is why I love these pens so much. That brush nib is the most incredible quality. You've got a little bit of flexibility to it, but not too much that it's going to make it difficult to get into those fine details, and just flick to get that beautiful lay down of colour. Now, if you're not too happy with the join between the lightest and that mid-tone, just go back down to your lightest tone, and just start to blend that seam a little bit better, so you've got a smoother transition. And then finally, we just go up to that darkest one, and here we're using our dark red blend, and this is going to be at the very edges there to give us those shadows into our colouring.
I've got some exciting news for you, Lily.
Oh, I can barely contain myself. Go on.
Pat's had a look, and she's got issue 1.
Pat! Wow,
and it's a Christmas one.
Yes.
She's never actually used it.
Have you not, Pat? Get it open, get it used.
Yeah, get it used. Send us a picture so we can see what it looks like. That's what we'd like to do.
I bet it's got a CD-ROM in it. I bet you it's got a CD-ROM. It will have done, yeah. Do you know, I must have all those CD-ROMs somewhere, but I can't think where they are.
Well, generally now, it's difficult to use them, isn't it?
It's true, it is true.
You need to get an old computer that's not been updated.
Well, my laptop is pretty old, I will say that, yeah. I think it's still got a CD-ROM drive. I'm not one for technology, Becky. I think we all know that by now. I'm all on opening up that tablet and logging into it if I'm presenting on the other side, aren't I?
Well, I'm not using it today.
Well,
I'm using my phone today. It can, sometimes these things can, you get more used to using your own phone, don't you?
This is true, yeah absolutely.
I love the idea that you're colouring in this, because I wouldn't have thought to do that.
Do you know, it's such an easy technique, and it's brilliant because we've cut it in black. You don't need to worry about going over the lines. The only bit you want to take a little bit more care at is where you've got the transition between where we've got the bow and the bell. You don't want to obviously go over that join. But if you go over the edges, so if I do a little bit like that, or I've gone out the lines, that was quite spectacularly bad. Hopefully you don't go outside the lines that badly. But if you do, don't worry, we are going to cut this out afterwards. So there's no need to worry about that. And because the actual cardstock that we die cut the bells from is black, if we're going over those lines, it's not going to show at all. So it's a super easy technique. It's almost like turning your die cuts into stamps, which I think is super fun. So just going in and colouring that beautiful bow in red. Of course, you could be using any colour you like, but I have to say I do love my traditional sort of reds and greens for Christmas.
Is that the dark red?
It is, yeah, absolutely. That is our dark red blend as part of our tri-blend brush. And we'll leave the bow for now. We'll just show you a little bit of colouring onto the bow. And this, for me, is why I absolutely love these tri-blend brush pens for this particular technique. If we have a little look at the bell, there's quite a lot of very intricate detail within there, and some really quite small little spaces. Now, you need a real fine point to that beautiful brush nib in order to be able to get into all those spaces. And because these pens have exactly that, it makes it very easy to just colour over the top. You get into all of those sort of little crevices in there to lay down that colour into the spaces between the die cut. And we're going in with that gold yellow blend, that once again starting off with the lightest. I'm going to imagine this is almost like beveled, it's curved. So it's going to be darker at the edges. You're going to have that highlight on the centre where it's going to be a little bit lighter, which is why we're popping our lightest colour into the middle. Then we move up to our mid-tone. We're going to go over that join a little bit where we've got that lightest colour tone, just to start to blend that together. It's always a lot easier to blend onto wet ink than it is onto dry card. Flicking that colour where we've got that transition to start to really bridge that gap and give us that lovely seamless blend transition. And then finally we go in with our darkest, which is the GY5, and this is going to be at the very edges of our bells. Once again, if you have a little bit of a crafty mare, maybe you've just looked to one side for a moment. That is the epitome of a crafty mare, let's be honest. That is quite, like we're saying, spectacularly bad. But if that does happen, don't worry at all. Crafty mare, that I think I'll coin that. I usually say crafty boo-boo, but that's sort of one step on from a crafty boo-boo, isn't it?
Do you ever have nightmares about crafting?
Oh, yeah, I do, yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
And what is
sad, isn't it, really?
You've turned up to do a show and you've prepped the wrong product.
Do you know what, one that I worry about a lot, and I've never done it yet, and it's going to happen one day, I just know it is, that I forget all my prep. I know. I will tell a little story.
Oh, go on
I
then.
hope she's not watching. But one of the guests, one of my friends down at Hobby Maker last time I was down,
Yeah.
she lives about I want to say about 2.5 hours from the studio drive. And she arrived when I was there.
Yeah.
And she started setting up for the show, and she went into a bag. And she said, "Oh, Lily, you'd never guess what I've done." I said, "Oh no." She'd left all the demos at home.
Oh no.
It's the absolute nightmare. So she had one show that day, and she had, I think, about 3 shows the next day. So she sort of just did a technique demo for that evening, and she actually drove all the way back home that night, and then drove all the way back on the same evening. So she got back to the hotel near Hobby Maker at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh no.
I know, what a nightmare, eh?
But I remember being at another channel and that happening, and it was a bit of it was quite good because awful for the person it was happening to, but everybody else in the green room was like, right, what can we do? And everybody in the green room was trying to fix it. So everyone's doing a little bit of the work, which is nice. And I think that's the key thing about the crafting community. Everyone's there to help each other, aren't they?
Definitely. I mean, I said, look, I'll take the products home, I'll prep tonight in the hotel, but she was adamant because she put so much time into prepping the demos, she didn't want them to go to waste, so she went home to get them, bless her. But that for me is the absolute nightmare, forgetting all my demos. But I feel worried the fact that I've said it now, because I just feel like I'm tempting fate and it's going to happen. Especially when I'm down Hobby Maker, because it takes me about 5-6 hours to get down there. There's no sort of going home.
Yeah, you can't just say, oh, I'm going to pop in the car and drive back.
No, absolutely not. So it's always one of those double and triple check your case. Have I got this? Have I got that? That show, is that prep? Have I got the product? So yeah, that is
like going on holiday,
nightmare.
where you look at your passport before you go out the house, when you're in the taxi, before the taxi drives away, when you get out the taxi. So
is that my passport? Have I accidentally somehow managed to get somebody else's passport? It's daft, isn't it, stuff like that, but that's definitely a crafty nightmare, isn't it? So we'd carry on colouring that full image. You can see we've got those 2 beautiful bells, and it really does make that bright colour pop by having that lovely black outline. And then, remember, we had our 2 little crafty mares there. I did tell you, no need to worry about those 2 little crafty mares, because all we're going to do is going to take our scissors. We're having them at a little bit of an angle there, so we can slide them underneath that die cut edge ever so slightly. And all you're going to do is you're just going to trim out that design. I always find it a lot easier, and I know this is something Craig does as well, just to remove that excess of cardstock around the edge. That gives you sort of that ability, so you're not sort of fighting with the cardstock. When you've got a lot of card around the edge, you almost find it gets in your way a little bit. So by just removing that, you're going to find it a lot easier. Carry on cutting all the way around the outside, just like so. And that's going to give you, once you've finished, it's going to give you something that looks a little bit like that.
Oh, lovely.
Doesn't that look pretty? And that's all just from a die. So it's just a little bit of a different way to use those die cuts. Now, I did mention earlier that we're going to recreate something that was very much inspired by that in terms of the card shape. So let's start to bring in our card and build it together. So what we started off with is just a die cut circle. This is just using one of my large circle dies that I had in my crafty stash. We've die cut that from some of our white multi-purpose card, and I've just popped a score line into the centre, and that is the basis of our little circle rocker card, which I think is really quite sweet and fun. I thought it was quite nice to work nice with the bells, almost like the bells are jingling or rocking bells, so to speak. So that's going to be the basis of our card shape. So to start to build this together, we're bringing in papers that are part of the magazine. So all of those gorgeous 32 sheets of double-sided papers that you've got within that magazine, we are going to start to build those together. So we've die cut a circle from this one. It's quite a nice little sort of 2-for-1 with this. Die cut your circle from your pattern paper, chop it in half, use the other half for another project, and then this half is what we're going to be using onto this project. And we've done the same with a little matten layer onto that black cardstock. So a black circle, die cut in half, and that's going to be our matten layer to go onto our card base. Using a tape pen, you do of course get one of our fabulous tape pens as part of our Showstopper deal. You could be using your all-purpose glue, you could be using any of your double-sided tapes if you find that easier, but super quick and easy to use one of our tape pens, and that's just going to go into the centre of our card. Aren't those papers just absolutely gorgeous? Then we've got another one of our pattern papers, once again die cut into a circle. This time we're using the full circle rather than chopping it in half like we did for the mats and layers for our card base. And to keep that design flow, where we've got our black mats and layers, we're going to pop that onto a slightly larger black circle there. And because we've got patterned black and white, we'll do exactly the same for this circle here. So then this one is going to go onto a white die cut. So nice and easy to build those layers up when you're sort of following that same theme. It just gives you that cohesion for your card making, which always makes things look that little bit more professional. So then we're just going to pop that onto our card like so, taking care that we don't pop our adhesive all over the back of there. We don't want it going over the edges of our sort of rocker card. So you can pop a little sort of pencil line onto the reverse, but I'll just pop a little bit on the bottom there. Then I tend to pop the second piece actually onto the card base itself, and that way I know that there's going to be no overhang of our tape.
That's a good tip.
It just makes it a lot easier, Becky. The amount of times that I've sort of gone in with a pencil and measured it and pop a mark in and tried to make sure it's not over the edge, it just makes it a lot easier. A piece on the bottom of the topper itself and a piece on the card base, nice and easy. You might have noticed I was lining that up with the lines on my glass mat, just to try and make sure that this plaid design is nice and straight. We've got those lines running up and down, nice and straight like so. That's our card base all built up. Really quite sweet, that little design. I'm very much inspired by one of those beautiful projects in the magazine. And then we'll take our bells, a couple of pieces of foam onto the back of here. I think you guys at home know how much I love my foam tape, love a bit of dimension, but it really does make a big difference when it comes to building your cards together and giving them that little bit of lift, that little bit of dimension.
Do you tend to use foam tape rather than foam pads?
For something a little bit larger like that, I'll go in with the foam tape. For something smaller, so like what we're going to do now with our sentiments, I'll bring in my foam pads. It's definitely one of those horses for courses, right tool for the job. So larger pieces going with your foam tape, or quite often as well when I'm crafting at home, I use my, you know, our double-sided foam sheets.
Yeah.
I use those quite a lot because you can cut those down to exactly the size you want. So if you've got a larger piece, those are absolutely fabulous. You can cut them into your strips that way as well.
So if you're a new crafter, you're watching today and you're thinking, actually, this magazine might be really good to give me an idea, there is a place for every kind of adhesive. We wouldn't say do use one rather than another, but they've all got their own merits. Was that right?
Absolutely. I think sometimes we're all too keen to try and find sort of a one-size-fits-all for anything in life, really. Like maybe a pan in the kitchen, this pan's going to do absolutely everything, or this piece of a tool in the garage is going to do absolutely everything. But so often it's a case of right tool for the job. You could maybe, you know, use a certain adhesive for a different job that's not ideal. It might work, but it just makes your life a little bit more difficult. So by using the right tool for the job, it just makes things an awful lot easier and gives you those finished results, those professional results, a lot easier as well. So we've got our Christmas and our wishes. Both of those have come from that stamp set. We've matte and layered them onto black just to finish that off onto our topper there. And that's our finished card. Quite a simple, quite a quick and easy card, but inspired by one of those beautiful projects in the magazine, using the papers and the dies and the stamps as well. That is how easy it is to get creating with this fabulous magazine.
Fantastic, that looks absolutely gorgeous, love that. Lynn Morton has asked what's in the Showstopper, so I'll recap and let you know what's in there. You're going to be getting the magazine, and there's so much in that magazine, so if you've only just joined us, you want to watch back, but we will be going over what's in the magazine. There's a huge array of different items in there, but also loads and loads of different projects and handy hints. You're going to be getting that. You're also going to be getting the tape pen. You're going to be getting some gilding flakes in the gold, red and the green, so the very Christmassy kind of colours. You're going to be getting some foam pads, and finally you're going to be getting some of our luxury cardstock. So you've got the encapsulated glitter, you've got the mirrored card, and you've got the matte mirrored card in that gorgeous red. You'll also be getting 100 bonus points with this as well. So the price would be platinum £32 or $40. But of course, if you wanted to go for just the magazine on its own, you can do that as well. It is $14.99 if I remember, and can't remember the other one. $14.99? Oh, and $19.99 if you want to just go for that. But as a new crafter, if you're just getting started, the Showstopper offers the better deal, and you're going to get all the other gubbins in there to help you make all your crafty makes. Right, the next item I'm going to show you is Ben's backpack. But it's not Ben's backpack because he took his backpack home. So this is Becky's backpack. Ben's backpack. Limited stock. We've not got many of these. So you're not actually going to get the backpack, but you're going to get all the goodies inside. But if you did want to make the backpack, this is one of our backpack templates that's available on the website. So I thought, might as well go and get this as well. Right, let's show you what you're going to be getting in there, because there's loads, absolutely loads. The first item I'm going to be showing you is one of these. So this is your die brush and foam pad, really good at getting all of those little pieces out of those intricate dies. So you saw Lily using that bell die just a moment ago. That would be ideal. So that's the first item. We've also got corner punch. I love these corner punches. They are so useful. That one is, what's that called? Fleur-de-lis. We've also got the Moon and Stars creator card in here. So you've got an embossing folder and you've also got that die. Then we've got the beautiful branches creator card. This is lovely. This one, we've seen demos on this before. In fact, I think I've done a demo on this myself. Really very versatile. Use it throughout the whole of the year. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. We've then got some acrylic stamps. These are lovely. These are lots of florals, and you've also got dragonflies in there. Gorgeous. We've got these set of stamps here, and this is the floral garden. This is going to keep on going, I have to be honest with you. This is from Bella Luna. This is the Call of the Wild stamp and die set. So you've got that Howling Wolf. We've then got Kaleidoscope of Butterflies set of nesting dies here. If I show you on the back, you can see you're going to get that outer die and then you've got that inner die. So you can be using them together or separately. Whew. I should have taken a bit of water before this because there's so much in here. This is You Are My World Mother Earth set of stamps from Sheena. Oh, I love this one. This is gorgeous. And this is that wildflower bouquet. So you've got a template for making that little wraparound, but also all of the dies to make those gorgeous flowers. Incredibly versatile. I think that was one of my favourite things from the Wildflowers collection. This next item is a stamp and die set. It's about love. Love. We've then got... Oh, it's getting difficult getting all the things out here now. We've got some clear stamps. These are lovely. I don't remember seeing these before. Beautiful designs in here. You've got some sentiments, but you've also got some other stamps. If you're going to be using your pens, you can be using some of your watercolours, and lots of things for you to be doing with that. Speaking of pens, we've got some Classics, Illustrators and Aqua pens in a little handy three-piece kind of tryout, which is really useful if you're a new crafter and you don't know whether you want to go ahead with all the aqua markers. You can try them out here. We've then got some scissors, useful everywhere, cutting your bacon as well as all of your crafting, if that's what you want to do, or cutting up boxes when you're putting out your recycling. Really useful. They're ergonomically correct. You've got those little markings on there as well, but they don't give your hands any fatigue when you're cutting out with these, which is obviously a really good thing to have. Next item I'm going to show you in here. I know, I'm going to be here for ages. This is the rest of the show. It's not really. We've got one of these packs with loads of different types of cards that you can make in here. So in here, you've got a mixture of 10 card blanks. You've got 10 envelopes. You've got printed papers. You have got some satin ribbon. You've got mini buttons, adhesive gems, sentiment sticker sheet and die cut toppers. 14 different designs in there, really useful. You know, that again, you know, I keep thinking about what you're going to be doing with the children in the Christmas holidays. That is going to be ideal. Aquaben pencils. This is the landscape collection. So if you can just see it up here, those are all the colours you're going to be getting in here. Lots and lots of information on our website as to how to use these Aquaben pens. We've also got a Oasis quick dry ink pad in here as well. Whew, that's the extent of what's in that bit, but we've also got other things. We couldn't fit these into the bag because Ben's backpack was bigger than my backpack. This was one of my favourite things from the Dancing Dragonflies. This is beautiful, and I can't quite open them up, which I should have done. You can see here, no, you can't see here. You can see at the front. These are kind of iridescent embossed pieces of card. They are absolutely stunning. I have these, and I can't use them because they are just so pretty. I just can't cut into them. Can't work out where I'm going to use them because they are just so precious. So I often just look at those. We've then got some of our funky foam in a selection of different colours, lots and lots of different brightly colours. Again, really useful if you're going to be doing some crafting with the children. These will go through your die cutting machines. You cut out some shapes. If you've got some of those nesting circles or nesting hearts, that's absolutely ideal. But you can, I believe, use this if you want to have something quite large and you want to almost be using them as a foam pad kind of thing to give that little bit of extra height. And then finally, we have a Violet Studios a Cosmic Dreamer paper pad, 12 by 12 paper pad. You've got loads and loads of different designs in here. They are absolutely beautiful. All that beautiful gold work in there, and you can see it's hitting the light. Loads of patterns in here that perhaps you've not seen before. The Violet Studios collection is slightly different to the other paper pads that you will see. Really very, very usable though. Lots and lots of pages in here. 12 by 12 paper pad. You have got 16 different designs in there, 2 pages of each. Whoa. Limited stock. You're going to need to be quick if you want to get your hands on this. You won't get that bag, £60 or $70, and the platinum price is £48 or $56. You're going to get all of the goodies there, but you're not going to get the bag. But you're not going to need the bag because you're just going to get crafting as soon as possible with all of these lovely items. We're going to go for a quick break and give you the opportunity to check out. If you want this, do put it in your basket and check out straight away, and we will see you in just a moment.
Day to day looks like, on a normal day when I'm working from home, get up, breakfast, quick phone call with my daughter, and then I'm up in the craft room and I spend all my time in the craft room. If it's spending a day with the grandkids, that's it. That's my best part of the day, just spending time with family and those gorgeous little grandkids of mine. The best part of the day when I'm at work is when I go on air, because I absolutely love it. Both. I prefer a shower in the morning. I feel fresher. I feel that I can tackle my day. However, depending on how that day's been, I also would have a double shower, so I'd have one in the morning and one at night too. Absolutely, 100% coffee. Will always be coffee. And flavoured coffee is my favourite at the moment. Dare I say it's a full English breakfast, the full works, the beans, the tomatoes, the bacon, the sausage, and everything else that goes with a traditional English breakfast. Craft along. Every day of the week. I absolutely love going through the stages from the start of a project to the end of a project. So craft along is definitely my favourite choice. I can't leave without my lipstick. It's a given thing. I once didn't have a lipstick on me and Leanne helped me out that day. Kick off the shoes, sit down for a couple of minutes, just gather my thoughts and then grab my tea.
Tea first, and then from there it'll be meetings, and there could be commercial meetings, there could be creative meetings, I could be supporting one of my team. I also manage a large team, so it could be one-to-ones with those. Every day is different, but always a predominant focus on the products, how they're working, the new products that we're bringing out, a lot of research and development. When we get to see the finished article, way before anybody at home gets to see it, we get to unpack it and experience it and try it. That gives us all a massive buzz. I can't be getting out of bed too early, and I like to get to bed. 9 o'clock's the new 10 p.m. Tea all day long, black, sugar, thank you. I tend to miss breakfast, which isn't great. And if I have something when I come in the office, then that's going to be yoghurt and fruit. My face, all of the makeup that makes this. Nobody's seeing this without that on. Probably a baked potato or a salad or something egg-based. Ooh, craft along a masterclass. I'm going to say masterclass, and that's because I love to educate. One song that would be the theme tune to my life, it would be Billy Ocean, Red Light Spells Danger. Pour a gin and tonic. First thing I do. Get in the house, gin and tonic, decompress the day, and then plan what I'm going to do that night.
Hello everybody, welcome back. I have to apologise. There were so many items in Ben's backpack, I forgot this one. And you know how much I like glitter. Very, very sad that I missed out on the glitter, but there's another item you'll be getting in Ben's backpack, which isn't Ben's backpack anymore because he's taken it home. But Ben's backpack deal with all of those items, you're also going to get the glitter. If it wasn't a good value before, it's definitely a good value now. Loads of people loving what the card that you just made. Lois says, very pretty card, Lily. And Stephanie says, beautiful card and a fast make. Marley says, I'm so glad I tuned in. I wouldn't have thought to use a die in this way to colour in. I saved the show. That is the great thing about watching things live, that you can actually sort of see different ways of using items. So I always think that is really good. So brilliant. If you've got any questions for us, please do message in and let us know what your questions are, and also let us know what you're going to be doing this weekend. Have you got some plans? Are you going to be crafting? That's what we need to know. Now, Lily, you've got more demos on this magazine, haven't you?
We certainly have, yeah. I'm going to go to that sort of touch of sparkle technique, if you like. So we're going to start off by doing a little bit of stamping, so I can show you guys at home how easy it is to work with those stamps. You know, the ones that look like they don't make an awful lot of sense when you first look at them. I'm going to show you how you build those together to make them actually read perfectly well, so they make total sense. So we've got a piece of our white multi-purpose cardstock. We'll pop that into our magnetic stamping platform here. So we're going to use our magnets just to anchor that card into position, and we've got our two halves of our stamp. Now it's up to you. There's not a sort of a number one and a number two. You can stamp these in any order. Personally, don't know why, I just find it easier to go for the one that's got the star on top. Now I'm actually going to stamp this in two different colourways of ink pad, just to make it a little bit easier for you to see the two different layers, but then I will skip forward to one where I've actually stamped it in one colour, just to show you the options. You don't have to use different colours of ink pad, but you can do that if you want to. Just sort of depends on the colour scheme that you're going with for your particular card or project that you're creating that time round. Now we're using our quick dry ink pads, and these are the ideal ones for stamping. When it comes to stamping, if I want a colour, I'll always go for my quick dry. If I'm stamping in black, grey or brown, I do actually tend to go for either my water reactives or my waterproof or alcohol proof. Those will give you a lovely crisp stamped image as well. So we're just going to sort of run our fingertips over that to transfer our ink from our stamp onto our cardstock, and that's the first layer of that stamped image, all good to go. But as we say, at this point it's not making an awful lot of sense where we've got that one half of the stamp, but this is where the other half comes into play. So that one was in Chinese red. We'll go in with our grasshopper for the next one. So this is the beauty of having a stamping platform. If I was using an acrylic block, I'd have to get that bang on first sort of try, but because we've got this anchored into our stamping platform, we're going to just line this up. Now, the way that I find easiest is you're going to have a look for that little dot there. That is your holly berry.
Right.
So you can see here on the left, we've got our two holly leaves. So you want those around that, like they're growing out the berries, as it would be sort of in real life. And at the top right-hand side there, we've got that same sort of idea. So if those two are lined up, you're going to be absolutely good to go. So getting those two leaves lined up around that little holly berry, getting those two leaves lined up around that little holly berry there. And if that's in position, that looks good enough to me. That is going to be good to go. It's not one of those where it needs to be absolutely perfectly bang on, otherwise it's not going to look quite right. Yeah, I've got sort of a few millimetres of wiggle room, if you like, when it comes to actually layering these up. Now, this is quite a pale colour of ink pad. Maybe we should have used a little bit of a dark one.
It's really nice seeing something stamped in colour. We hardly ever do it.
I know, it's one of those I always forget about it, to be honest, and I always think, oh, I must use my quick dries a little bit more often. But it looks amazing stamping these in colours, and you've got such a vast array of colours within that quick dry range. You really do have a different ink pad for each and every single stamp in your stash. Just going in with the pine trees, so that's just a little bit darker and easier for you guys at home to see. And don't forget, we've not moved that cardstock because of course it's anchored into position with those fabulous magnets. We took that time lining up our stamp. We just picked it up using the lid of our stamping platform, and then fingertip dancing, as we say, all over there.
Oh,
that's going to transfer the ink. Isn't that cute?
That is gorgeous.
And it's lined up absolutely perfectly. You remember your two holly leaves with your berry on the left, your two holly leaves with the berry on the right. Follow that method and you are going to be absolutely good to go when it comes to lining these up. So you could be using that sort of on a rectangle like we've got there. We could be die cutting it up on an oval if you like, anything like that. Or just go around the edges with your fuzzy cutting scissors, as you know I absolutely love doing, and you'll end up with something like that. So totally different by stamping both in black or in two different colourways. It looks almost like a totally different stamp actually, just by using those two different colourways.
Could you
go on.
Could you use
I feel like you're going to say what I was about to say.
What were we going to say?
Embossing powder.
Yeah.
Yes, so I tell you what looks amazing. So you could do both in embossing powder or do one layer in normal ink, make sure it's nice and dry. So go in with a quick dry for your first one and then do the second one in your embossing powder. That is going to look outstanding. There's some in the magazine actually that use embossing powder and they look beautiful. But just so many different options with your stamps. I love layering stamps. I think they're just absolute genius. Now, I did say about doing our touch of sparkle technique, so we will just do a little bit of sparkle into this one. So let's grab a few of these beautiful little pearls that we've got within our touch of sparkle. And let's just go for a couple. Have you not got it?
No.
What are you playing at?
No,
What are you playing at, young lady? That's not okay.
I don't know what have I been doing?
What have you been doing? This is disgraceful. You need them. I have to say, you do absolutely need them.
Definitely want that stick as well.
Oh, it's so good. The Sticky Picky Uppy tool is an absolute game changer. I tell you what it's brilliant for, paper piecing. Oh my goodness me, it's an absolute revelation when it comes to your paper piecing.
And of course, if you want to put gems on your face, it'd be quite useful.
I wouldn't use this adhesive, but if you've got the right adhesive.
Yeah, eyelash glue.
Eyelash glue, yeah. I mean, you've got enough gems for it, don't you? Blooming out, you get.
Do you know what I'm going to be doing in the break? You're going to come back and I'm going to be covered in gemstones.
Right, mate. I'm going to look ever so plain and boring next to you, aren't I? Blooming heck.
Yeah, I'm going to do it on you as well. We're going to make ourselves into like festival jewellery all over our faces.
Unfortunately, I have too much work to do between shows. I am otherwise
well, while you're working,
so I'm just going to be there tip-tapping and you're just going to be
bedazzling you.
Bedazzling and bedazzling me. Yes, it sounds like a plan, that, doesn't it? But super easy. Just pop a little bit of adhesive onto the areas where you want your pearls. Or you could be using your gems as well, but here we're using the pearl box, and you're just going to bling up your sentiment, and it's going to look absolutely gorgeous, just like so. But we'll leave that to one side. Get me lid on me pearls, otherwise that's going to be a nasty end to that story, isn't it? Blooming heck, can you imagine all those on the floor? Oh, dear. So that's all ready to go. We'll leave that to one side just to dry. Now, we have got our beautiful embossing folder, and I just have to share this one with you because I absolutely adore this. I think it's just beautiful. You could go really quite modern, like we're going to do here. You could grunge it up, maybe emboss some of your craft card and pop some of your gilding paste over that. Not gilding paste, gilding
flakes.
Gilding wax.
Gilding
wax.
wax.
I always want to call it gilding paste, and I don't know why.
Whatever it is, it's shiny.
It's shiny, it's beautiful, and it looks gorgeous with this embossing folder. So once through your die cutting machine, it's a 2D embossing folder, which means 2 plates. Your 2 cutting plates is all you need in order to emboss that. Run that through your die cutting machine, just with some of your white cardstock. Becky's got her hand up. What are you doing?
Because you're chatting, and I want to ask you a question.
Oh, you can interrupt.
Could you use an embossing folder with a tin can?
With a tin can, like a fizzy drinks can, sort of.
Yeah.
Jobby.
Could you use that on there?
Do you know what? I'd say give it a go. Yeah. I would give it a go. Why on earth not? Just make sure, because obviously when you separate out your cans, they can be a little bit sharp, but you just want to flatten it out. Do take a little bit of care when it comes to that. But why not give it a go? What's the worst that can happen? It doesn't work, or the machine spits it out. Maybe, I'll tell you what you might want to do. With this being a 2D embossing folder, obviously we have a bit of a thicker plate combination. But because obviously that material is a little bit thicker than your regular cardstock, maybe go in with, instead of your 2 cutting plates, perhaps go in with your 3D plate combination, which is your cutting plate, your frosted and your magnetic. Give it a go. Why on earth not?
I might get a can of drink in the break and try it. So I think that looks really quite cool. Because then you could then cut them out and make them into decorations, hang on the tree. Because that is such a lovely embossing folder.
Certainly is. It's gorgeous. And look how beautiful it is when you've got some of those little sparkly pearls onto there. So we'll just pop this card together super, super quick. I know we have not got a ton of time on this first half of the show. So some of our tape pen's going to go onto the back of there. Matching mats and layers onto our main piece and our embossed topper. And then gluing those together because we're going to pop some of our lovely little ribbon around the back of this. So this is just some of the many reels of ribbon that I have in my crafty stash. I am a little bit of a ribbon collector, it has to be said. I do like my ribbon. So this is just some that I've had for absolutely years, it has to be said. And I thought, perfect way to actually build this together. So we're just going to wrap that around that side, and I'll just show you how this is going to pop together. I will finish it in just a moment, but we'll pop that onto our card base. We've got our gorgeous bejeweled topper. We've got a little sentiment that we've stamped from the kit. We've got a little ribbon bow, and I thought, you know what, let's bring in with one of those lovely little charms from our Christmas charms. That'll come out in the bow, and that will build together something a little bit like that. Super clean, super quick and easy, but how gorgeous are those layering stamps and the embossing folder?
Oh, beautiful. I mean, to be honest, it's just worth having that collection just so you could get that stamp, because it is absolutely gorgeous. Really, really liked that. Now, Vanessa's saying she's loving your nails. And unfortunately, Pat says, false alarm, she does not have item 1. So do let us know. We're looking for item 1 for the Crafter's Companion, issue 1.
The very original. Has to be the original.
Yeah, which is about 10 years old, we think, something like that. So do let us know if you happen to have it, because we're quite nosy and we want to know what it looks like. I'm sure one of you's got it out there. Now, welcome everyone. If you've not been joining us and you've just come in, hello, where have you been? We've got loads of things to show you. We've been talking about this fantastic magazine. I always think these magazines are so useful, whether you craft all the time or whether you're brand new. But actually, I think for somebody that's quite new to crafting, it's really a good introduction, because there's so much information in there. And you'll look at not only do you get all the information, all the hints and all the ideas, but you're also going to be getting some lovely little freebies in them. And everyone does love a freebie. Now, you can buy the magazine on its own, but the best value is by buying the Showstopper. Now, the Showstopper comes with the magazine, with all of the exactly the same goodies inside there. But we've also added a tape pen. We have got some, what else have we got? Glitter fix in the gold, silver, gold, red and gold. Gold, red and green. What is wrong with me today?
Red, gold and green. Red, gold and green.
And you've got some of our luxury red cardstock in there. Glitter cardstock. You've also got some mirrored cardstock and some matte mirrored cardstock, and you've also got some of those fabulous foam pads. This is a really good value. So this is £40 or $50. Platinum price is £32 or $40, and you're going to get 100 bonus points. Now, if you want to just go for the magazine, you'll be able to get that. It's £14.99 or $19.99. Remember that. And you're going to be getting 50 bonus points with that as well. Now, Rebecca Dancer says tin foil for the kitchen works well embossing that.
Ooh,
that'd be quite
great
nice.
idea.
Yeah, Rachel says, I found my loophole, because I've only been banned for putting glitter on. No one said anything about putting pearls and gems on me.
Oh, dear.
So I might be a little bit sparkly when we come back to the show later on this evening. When I say might, I'm definitely going to be glittery. Right, Lily, what else have we got today on this show with all these demos in the magazine? Because there's lots in this magazine. It must have been hard to choose when you were putting this all together.
This magazine is absolutely amazing. You've got 185 different crafty hints, tips, techniques and ideas that you maybe want to recreate exactly at home. Perhaps you're a brand new crafter and you want to copy like for like, following those step-by-step instructions. It's going to allow you to create the most beautiful makes all for those Christmas occasions. Or perhaps maybe you're a little bit more advanced and you just want a little bit of a kickstart. Maybe you're going to be copying the layout of those cards. Maybe it's going to be the colours you're inspired by. There's lots of different elements within the magazine that you can take inspiration from and take it on your own crafty journey. It's totally down to you how you're going to be using this inspiration, but there's a ton of inspiration in this magazine. I love the fact that it all comes to you in this beautiful presentation box. So when you are storing this on your shelves in your craft room, you can have all your issues lined up and it's going to look absolutely beautiful. And what a library, what a wealth of inspiration you're going to have to choose from. So that's your box there. You can see a little bit of a sneaky peek of some of the items you're going to get included, but let's have a little look right now at all of the goodies that you get as part of that kit. So we start off with our stamp set, and you're getting a whopping 29 stamps as part of this set. It's an A5 clear stamp set. You've got elements that will work beautifully with that Nature's Garden Holly and Ivy collection that we brought you just last month here at Crafter's Companion. But rest assured, there is absolutely no duplicates when it comes to these stamps. They are completely standalone and unique designs. That beautiful design there, you can see at the bottom, you've got two halves of your tree. That's your gorgeous layering stamp. Bring those two together and it enables you to create that gorgeous layered design. You could be using two 2 different colours of inks or 1 colour, that choice is entirely yours, but it's really fun to get building those designs together. And talking of building your own designs, that's exactly what you can do with these sentiment stamps. You've got all those separate component parts, so you could be building your sentiments, it could be Happy Christmas, it could be Have Yourself a Merry Christmas. Allows you all of that creative freedom to really build and mix and match those sayings for not only the inside but the outside of your cards as well. Then we move on to our die, and what a gorgeous die this one is. This one is incredibly intricate when it comes to the detail with this beautiful design. You can see on this card here, we've done it almost like a stamping technique, if you like. We've almost turned this die into a stamp by die cutting it in black, sticking it to our white cardstock and colouring through those gaps using some of our alcohol-based pens. Doesn't that look absolutely gorgeous? And that level of detail is truly exquisite. So that is included. What a great way to maybe start your die cutting journey with something as exquisitely detailed as that. Then we move on to one of our embossing folders, and embossing folders are super useful tools to have within your crafty stash. You can just emboss that on 1 colour and leave it as it is for that gorgeous tone-on-tone textured effect. You can emboss it, then bring in some of your inks, you can highlight that design, bring in those gilding waxes, maybe emboss it onto a cardstock that's got a different colour core and sand that back. It's going to look absolutely exquisite, or even bling it up like we have done on this card here by bringing in some of our pearls onto those beautiful little berries. It's going to look absolutely gorgeous however you're choosing to use that one. Then we move on to our stencil, and this is a 5x5 stencil. These are all super useful to have in your crafty stash. You can be using them as embossing folders. You can actually run that through your Gemini die cutting machine and emboss that beautiful snowflake design. Bring in your ink pads. It could be your shimmer ink pads, it could be your duet ink pads, it could be your water active ink pads, it could be your opaque pigment ink pads, it could be all those different ink pads, maybe picking out different details or just using 1 colour. It's going to look truly exquisite. Or perhaps it's going to be your glitter paste, perhaps it's going to be a texture paste, maybe you're going to be going through with some of your glue and adding glitter over the top, or your gilding flakes over the top. So many options with stencils. Whether you're a messy crafter or whether you like to keep things clean and simple, these are going to absolutely work for you. Then we go on to the magazine itself, but I'm going to go straight to the centre because you have got a whopping 32 sheets of double-sided, uncoated as well, which is super important because it gives us lots and lots of opportunities to add your inks, to add your further finishes like your paste, it could be your sprays, it could be your glossy highlights onto there, some of your glitters. And then as we move towards the front of these 32 sheets, we've even got toppers. That right there could be a card in itself. That's like your base plate. So chop that out using your guillotine, pop one of those toppers onto there, maybe one of the sentiments, bring in the border, and it's a card done. Does anybody remember our card companions we used to bring years and years ago? Johnny and Maya, do you remember
card companions? What were
they were brilliant. So it was like a whole sheet and you had everything you needed to make a card. We did them on the CD-ROMs. We did like stamp companions as well, where you had the area where you could use your stamps. They were brilliant. And this for me sort of is a little bit of a throwback, reminding you of those card companions where you've got everything you need within just 1 sheet to make a card, but then so many extras included as well. Incredible value, especially if you're thinking about making lots of cards. Maybe it's going to be charity cards to sell over the Christmas period. Perhaps you're raising funds for, maybe it's going to be your local church group, perhaps it's going to be the cat shelter or the dogs trust, anything like that at all. Sell your makes, and these will be quick and easy creations for you to get crafting with. So 32 sheets of that, but then it's all about the inspiration, and 185 ideas, hints and tips, all for your crafting when it comes to those Christmas makes are included. Incredible designs in here. Maybe it's going to be your shape cards. Perhaps you're not going to recreate anything that looks remotely like that, but you've been inspired to create yourself an oval easel card. That can be the inspiration that you're taking. You could be looking perhaps at that card there. You're loving that technique that we're showing with that embossing folder, but maybe you're going to use that same technique of sanding back with another embossing folder. Make these work for you. Maybe looking at that, you absolutely love that design. Recreate it exactly. You've got the toppers, you've got the papers, you've even got the die included and that border as well. You've got everything pretty much you need to make that. You have got tons and tons of inspiration, not just the card, so you've got the step-by-steps telling you everything that you need and top tips as well. It is truly a wealth of knowledge from a range of different designers, including Sarah herself and behind the scenes. If you're nosy like me, you'll absolutely love that feature as well. Tons in there. You've got your magazine, of course, and then you've got all of your craft kit that you can get crafting with. You have got your stencil, you've got your embossing folder, you've got your die, you've got a whopping 29 stamps as well, and it's going to be all housed in this beautiful presentation box. What a perfect gift for someone who wants to get into crafting. I love these. They are truly an invaluable resource when it comes to your crafting.
Fantastic. I love the fact that we're giving you extra bits and pieces in there as well. Lynn Morton has asked if you can show us how to emboss a die. I don't know if we're going to have time in this show, but
Is emboss a die or emboss a fold?
She said it embossing a die, but I don't know whether it might be a stencil.
So we've not, that die itself is not an embossing die itself. I'm not sure if I've got any embossing dies here. So, let's have a little look down here.
We'll see what we can,
We'll see what we can do. So we'll definitely do something for Friday Night Live. The difference with certain dies are sort of designed for embossing. So they've got areas in there that allow you to emboss.
How would we know?
How would you
someone know that they've got a die that you can emboss?
So this one is not an embossing die. So you can see as we look at that die around the edge there, it's a solid piece of metal. If it's got gaps in there, that allows you, if you use it with a rubber mat, it's going to push that card through those gaps, and that's going to allow you to emboss. Do you know what I can do? I can show you the plate combination.
Okay.
I won't run it through. I'm hoping I've got the right plates here. Let's have a look. Let's go down. I promise you I'm coming back. But the key for when you're embossing either a die or a stencil, the key is your pink, and I love the colour of this, as I'm sure you can imagine, is your pink raspberry shim. So what you're going to need to do, we're going to have to do a little bit of imagining here because we're not actually going to do the process. But what you're going to do is you're going to bring in your cutting plate, then you are going to have your rubber shim. Now, we always say that the rubber shim and the magnetic shim are really not good friends. They had a fallout many, many years ago. They cannot be in the same room together.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they have, it's awful.
Oh, dear.
Becky, it's absolutely awful. So if we're going to pop that in the sandwich, we have to remove that one.
Okay.
So we've got that almost like replacing your magnetic shim. Then you're going to have your frosted shim even and your cutting plate over the top. So you'd have your, and have I got my stencil to hand here? Let's have a little look if I can find my stencil here. So you're going to have your cardstock. You know when you're looking for cardstock and you're in a studio full of crafty goodies, you can't find any cardstock. It's never too good, is it? There's our cardstock. You'd have your, so you want your cardstock and your stencil, your cardstock or your die. Imagine the stencil could be a die.
It's the same technique whether you're using a die or a
same
stencil.
sort of idea, and that's going to run through your die cutting machine. Hopefully that helps. I know that was a little bit clunky, but I hope that helps.
No, that does help. Lynn said she never knew that. This is why when I embossed a die, it shredded the mat. Yeah, we've all been there. I don't think anyone has ever not cut out from their magnetic shim.
We've all been there.
Mistake.
Yeah, but just the best thing to remember is just remember that the magnetic shim and this shim, they had a bust up many, many years ago. Right. They cannot go through that machine together. And that will always help. If you, I always think if you remember a little bit of a daft story, it always helps me remember things. So
I agree, totally agree. Now, I do want to remind you, obviously Friday Night Live later on, and we do need your photographs. We do want to see what you've been making. Do let us know. If you can email those across to studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk, we will then be able to put them on the show. And remind me what you get if we show you a picture, an accolade from us all. And you get bonus points. How much was it? 50? I think it's 50 bonus points you get. So it's well worth you showing your makes. Now, if you're brand new to us, say hello. Message in, show us what you've been doing. It may be your very first week crafting, and we'd like to see what you're going to be doing. Or we get 100 bonus points. Oh, there we were selling you short. You get 100 bonus points. Let us know if you're new, if you've been here for a long time. We always like to hear from you. It's nice to see what people are making. So do message in for that. Now, we've got a few items on the global clearance which has been extended. So we're going to show you what those are on these images here, because there's some fantastic deals. Look at that. That is the beautiful 12 by 12 mirror card. These are your festive metallics. You're going to be getting silver and gold patterns on here, or silver and gold cards on here, with all those different patterns on there. Absolutely beautiful. 24 pieces altogether. The price for this is, wow, that's a really good price, £9.19. Can I just go a little bit closer so I can actually read what it says it was? The 60% saving, it was $22.99, has been reduced to £9.19 or $10.79. The platinum price is even better, £7.35 or $8.63. But we've only got how many? Less than 50, so you need to be quick. You need to be quick with all of these deals, I'm afraid. The next item I've got are half price linen cardstock. So this is your Delightful Daisies. Our linen cardstock is absolutely stonkingly good. In the white, the blues, the greens, and also that lovely bright yellow. £7.49 or $19.99. Platinum price is $5.99 or $7.99. Next item we've got are some Centura Pearl cards and envelopes. These are a 6 by 6 or 6 by 8? Yeah, 6 by 6. This is a metallic silver. Now, really useful, if you're going to be making your cards this year, why would you not put them in your basket when you can see the price of them? £2.99 or $4.17. Platinum, £2.39 or $3.34. You can't buy a coffee for that. No. You can't buy a coffee for that. You've got 8 cards and envelopes in that. That is a really good deal. You can multi-buy on these, but I don't imagine we've got huge stocks of these because they're just so good. The next item we've got is the Arabian Nights 12 by 12 paper pad, 60% saving on this. And that is a beautiful paper pad. It's not just your 6 by 6, this is your 12 by 12 paper pad, £5.19. or $7.99. A platinum price is £4.50. That's crazy price. $6.39. That is really, really good value. 180 GSM, and you're going to be getting 36 sheets in that. That is incredible. And then we have Myths and Legends linen card stock. We've got those beautiful kind of turquoise and blues in there. Really, really nice collection of there. 24 sheets altogether. £8.99 or $11.97. The platinum price is £7.19 or $9.58. Next item we've got is our 8x8 Enchanted Ocean Vellum Pad. These are so pretty. The designs are absolutely gorgeous. 24 sheets you're going to be getting in this. And again, an incredible saving. £3.99 or $5.19. Platinum, that's just silly. It's just silly. £3.19 is your platinum price or $4.15. Why are you watching me and not just checking out? That's all I can say, because they are incredibly good deals. Well worth taking advantage of those. Let us know if you've got any questions. Lily's here to answer any of your crafty questions, and she has an encyclopedic knowledge when it comes to craft. She could tell you anything.
Oh gosh, pressure.
Anything. This is a competition. Can you send in a question that Lily can't answer?
Oh, I'm sure they can.
I don't think they can. Not when it's about craft. Oh. I think Lily knows everything. That's what I reckon. Lily, what are you going to show us this time?
Well, I feel a lot of pressure, even apparently I know everything. Okay. Ooh, right, breathe.
I'm going to think of a really complicated question to ask you now.
It's going to be something about sewing, and I'm not sewing for many years, so
I'm not
there's
going to ask you sewing.
Absolutely no chance.
That'd be just cruel.
It would be, but you know, it depends if I win the game or not. You might be asking me all the questions.
If you lose the game, I'm going to be coming up with some really complicated questions for you.
Oh dear. Well, I best make sure I win the game. Anyway, back to this fabulous magazine. I was really inspired by this gorgeous card here as I was flicking through, and I thought, wow, I love that card shape there, and it's actually super easy to put together when you've got all those step-by-steps. That's exactly what we're going to sort of recreate for this little demo here, but we're going to decorate it completely differently when it comes to this particular card. We're just sort of using the inspiration when it comes to that card shape. So all you need to do, and just following those instructions, you're going to get a piece of your multi-purpose cardstock. You're going to cut it down to 6 inches by 8 inches. That's going to be the main part of your card base. Then you're just going to score at 2, 4 and 6, and you're going to concertina fold onto those score lines just like so. And that's the first part of your card base, and all I've done to create that is just follow those instructions, as easy as that. Then the second piece we're going to bring in, once again, some of our plain white multi-purpose card. This one is being cut down to 2.5 inches in height by 8 inches, and this one is scored halfway, which is our 4 inches. And those two are going to layer together just like that, so it's going to open out like so, and it can fold down flat for posting as well. But let's be honest, that is a little bit plain and boring. I think we might need a little bit of decoration for that particular card. So let's bring in some of our beautiful pattern papers. So I've got some of that gorgeous design there that is from the papers that you're getting in the inside of your magazine. All of these, once again, don't forget they're uncoated, which means if you want to make this look really quite vintage and rustic, by all means go in with your inks. Perhaps you've got some water reactive inks like your Fryer Brown, your Seal Brown. Perhaps you even want to go in with your paper edge sort of, what does Craig call it? The edge crimpler. The edge crimpler, otherwise known as the paper distress tool, and you can distress up, rough up those edges if you want to, or just leave it as it is. It's gorgeous just straight out of the pack. It's going to look beautiful without any of those additional finishes added on. So mat and laid onto some of our gorgeous sort of dark brown linen card. And then this is where sort of the showstopper comes into play. So we've brought in some of that gorgeous encapsulated red glitter card, and that's going to be our next matten layer. So 2 little matten layers, quite thin, just under 1/4 of an inch increments for those, and that's going to bring in that matten layer, which will layer onto our card base.
Is using the tape pen with the glitter paste going to be strong to hold it, or should
Absolutely.
or do you recommend a different glue, or you wouldn't use the all-purpose, would you?
Wow.
But you do.
Okay. This is where I get a little bit controversial. Shall we say. I do.
Right.
The official line is you shouldn't, but I always have.
Okay.
And I'm still standing.
Yeah.
And my card. The reason that we recommend not to use the all-purpose onto any sort of coated card, so that could be a glitter card, it could be your mirror card, it could be a pearl card. The reason why we tend to say steer clear of that is because our all-purpose is a solvent-based glue. What that means is if it gets onto that coating, it's actually going to strip the coating off.
Okay.
So if you get a little bit sort of overexcited with your glue and you have a little bit seep out of the edges, what's going to happen is it's actually going to strip that coating off, and it doesn't look too good. It's one of those, I wouldn't call it a crafty mare, I'd call it a crafty boo-boo.
Okay.
And when we have crafty boo-boos, we need something like a butterfly or a flower or something like that to cover it up. So it's far from ideal, let it be said. So a lot of the team will use their tacky glue. That's going to be perfect for any of your coated cardstocks. Your tacky glue is a very strong glue, and it gives you that little bit of wiggle room as well. So if you need a few moments just to manoeuvre that matten layer into that perfect positioning, you've absolutely got that with your tacky glue.
Okay.
Now this is very different to most other tape runners that you will find on the market, because this is actually super, super strong. So often we think tape runners have been, yes, a nice quick and easy adhesive, yes, great for wrapping our presents, yes, great for our matting and layering, but all too often tape pens are not particularly strong when it comes to the adhesive within them. This is totally different. This is almost like red liner tape in a tape pen form.
Oh, right,
super
okay.
strong. You can use it for your mats and layers, you can use it onto your construction projects, you can use it onto your coated cardstocks. Acetate as well is going to work an absolute treat, and it's going to give you that really strong bond. So nice and quick and easy, that's going to be perfect. I do absolutely love our tape pens. They are an absolute go-to when it comes to adhesives. So there we've got our 4 panels all matte and layered up with our gorgeous pattern paper, with our brown, and then with our glitter. So that's that main part done and good to go. But oh my goodness, I have to share this with you. This, I got very overexcited about the other evening in my craft room. Hope you guys at home are the same. Do you ever have one of those ideas you think, I wonder if this is going to work? And when you try it and when it works, it is one of the most exciting things in our craft, and it is just brilliant. So our chunky ribbon, I do believe you'll find this on the website. Lovely red chunky ribbon, gorgeous as it is. But I thought, you know what? I've got a stencil in the magazine.
Ooh.
And we've also got some of our glitter paste on the show. And I thought, do you know what? I wonder if, at the end of the day, this is a little scrap of ribbon. It's not a huge piece of ribbon. If this goes wrong, well, you know, what's the bother?
Yeah.
Just a little bit of ribbon. And at the end of the day, if it gone wrong, we just use the other side. But did it go wrong? Oh my goodness, look at that. Glitter paste, using your stencil in the magazine, directly onto your ribbon. It's not sort of turned it really stiff. You can still tie this into bows. That could be, maybe you do cake decorating, that could be wrapped around your cakes. If you're creating lovely Christmas style cakes, that could be tied into your ribbons. You could be creating almost like rosettes. Maybe you make those incredible, great big Christmas wreaths. You know, the ones where you wrap the ribbon around. You could be using that, your own glitter pasted ribbon.
Oh, I like that.
How amazing is that? So I got very excitable the other evening when I discovered that works an absolute treat. So that is going to be going onto some of our mats and layers, and this is going to be where our separate section, sort of our second piece of the card base, comes into action. So we've got a piece of our brown, once again we've got a piece of our glitter, and all we're going to do is we're going to stick those two together, and then we're going to wrap our ribbon around there. What a fun technique this is. It could be your Christmas glitter paste, which is what we've used for this one. It could be your iridescent. It could even be your chunky and mesmerising glitter paste. You can give it a go with all of those glitter pastes. Any stencil as well that you've got in your crafty stash, pop it onto a ribbon. It's going to look absolutely amazing. Talking of glitter paste and stencils, we might have a few launching next Wednesday. And you know what I'm going to be trying this weekend? Oh, all those new stencils, all those new glitter paste, they're going to be going onto the chunky ribbon.
I really like glitter paste.
It's so much fun, isn't it?
Oh, it really does make everything look so absolutely gorgeous. Obviously, everyone knows I like a little bit of glitter, but my goodness. I think I've got all the glitter paste now.
You've got to have them all, don't you? They
Yeah.
are absolutely gorgeous. But how luxurious does that look? That could have been, I know our chunky ribbon is gorgeous, but that could have been a really inexpensive little scrappy bit of ribbon. Perhaps you weren't particularly keen on the colour, perhaps you weren't particularly inspired by that colourway, but we're crafters, we never want anything to go to waste. You can really bling that up, you can glitterify it up using any of your glitter paste, wrap that round the back there, and you've got that gorgeous matte and layer. I mean, how stunning is that?
really
Just some
nice.
of your tape onto the reverse, and that's going to adhere that nicely. We'll do exactly the same with the other piece. We've got our other matte and layer to go onto our second portion of that extra piece of our card base.
Now, I've got a couple of questions for you,
Oh,
Lily.
yes. Let them out, May.
So, maybe.
Oh,
so
dear.
from Rachel says, what's your very first Crafter's Companion paper pad that you bought? And do you still have any of it left?
Oh, good grief. That's a hard one. When we say paper pad, I can't go for like Centura Pearl, can I? Or anything like that?
No. Don't be so silly.
All right. Blimey, me, she's fierce today. Gosh, I'm here all day with it. It's going to be a long old day. Do you know what? One of the I don't know if it was the very first, but one of the very first, and I wonder if anyone at home will remember this one. Sarah's signature, I'm sure it was called Just for Men. Something
okay.
like that. A little 6x6 paper pad, and I have still got it.
Yeah.
I've still
You've
got
some.
just a few sheets left. It's become one of those now. It's become sort of so special because it is so old that I don't want to use it, but I've
Yeah.
still got it. That's got to be one of the oldest ones, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. I'd love to know how long ago that was. It's got to be over 10 years, I would have thought. Very old collection. I don't know if anybody remembers that. Probably nobody does remember it at all, but
Sure,
it was a
somebody
lovely
does.
collection, yeah.
And my other question is from Ruth. She wants to know, does it matter if it's seam binding ribbon or satin ribbon?
Well, this is a grosgrain.
Yeah,
I don't see why you couldn't use it on any sort of ribbon.
yeah.
I really don't. Oh, can you imagine it on organza? Oh, that would be absolutely dreamy.
Though I suppose, and actually it'd be really nice on a wired ribbon.
Oh,
because
yeah.
when it's, as it gets quite rigid, I suppose if you had an organza ribbon, it might be, depending on how intricate that stencil is, if there's a lot of paste going through it, it could make it quite rigid.
Yeah.
If you had a bit of wire in it, it wouldn't matter, would it?
No, not at
There's
all.
so many things you could do with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, how gorgeous does that
I
look?
like
I mean,
that.
if I may say so myself, I'm just absolutely chuffed with that.
Yeah,
I could just sit and
you
look
should
at that
be.
for the rest of the show. Don't worry, I won't. But that's our card base all laid up. I'm going to leave that to one side before I get too overexcited about the glitter pasted ribbon. And this is where we're going to bring in some of our beautiful stamps as part of the collection. I showed you in the first half of the show how we can actually layer up those two sort of component parts of your tree to create your beautiful layered effect to that tree. But I absolutely love this scroll stamp here. So I thought, you know what? We'll bring that into play and we'll do a little bit of colouring with that lovely scroll stamp there. Now the centre of that scroll is completely empty, so that allows you to mix and match any of the sentiments within the collection. You could of course be using the first Noel that goes in the middle, or just mix and match and create your own sentiments. Maybe if you've got nice handwriting, you could be handwriting your words into the centre if you like. Maybe if you've got other Christmas sentiments or other festive sentiments, you can be popping those in the centre as well. Love the fact that we've kept that middle separate, so it allows you to have all that versatility in terms of what you choose to pop in the middle. Now we want this to look quite nice and vintage, quite sort of distressed and oldie worldy if you like. So we're going to go in with our muted brown blend. I love using this particular colourway when I'm colouring something that's kind of supposed to be white, but it's going to look a little bit aged. We want that distressed sort of effect to it, and that's going to match in beautifully with the papers that we've got as part of this collection. And by going in with that brush nib, it allows you to flick that colour to really get that lovely smooth lay down of colour. Honestly, it's just silky smooth, this brush nib. It's absolutely gorgeous. I do love my tri-blend brush. I use them, I'd probably say almost every day, to be honest with you, Becky. I do love my colouring.
Watching you when I first started, and indeed all the craft experts, but I really sort of learned a lot about how to colour with pens, and I got all of the tri-blends in the end because I thought they were you know, I suppose they seem to be our go-to for most of us.
Yeah, I think so. I think because they're so quick and easy. I'll be honest, I have all the tri-blends, I have all the illustrators, I have all the classics, but the ones I go back to time and time again are my tri-blends. Especially if I'm travelling, maybe I'm going on a train journey. You know what I'm like, I can't sit still without doing some sort of crafting for too long. So of course I want to bring some crafting with me. And these are brilliant because you've almost got, I always say, does anyone remember at home, you know, when you were little, you used to have the pencils that were made up of about 10 different colours.
Yeah.
They always remind me of that when it comes to tri-blends. So
When
it's
you
like
wanted
having-
was always at the wrong place,
Oh
wasn't
gosh,
it?
yeah, of course, absolutely. You spend hours, and then you'd use that pencil. Like, oh no, I want the other colour now.
Yeah.
You'd go around swapping them out. But with your tri-blends, it's almost like that 3 pens in one. So if you're worried about storage, perhaps you don't have a dedicated craft space, these are going to take up a lot less room than a regular sort of alcohol marker, because you do have those 3 pens in one, if you like. So they are fabulous, and they are super easy because you've got all that shading sort of guesswork taken out of it. You've got your light, your medium and your dark all within the one pen. Makes it so easy to start to blend those together. So that's how I'd sort of go in for my scroll. Little technique that I like to do quite often when I've got text, any sort of sentiment onto there. I want to give that a little bit of a drop shadow just to make it pop that little bit more and bring a bit more of the colour into the centre of this piece as well. So just going back to that lightest colour tone. I'm not being really precise where I'm actually adding the colour. I'm not thinking it's got to be to the left or sort of slightly below like I do sometimes when we're adding our drop shadows. We just want to start adding that colour, and we'll do the same with Christmas. So we just want to outline and go over that text there just to make it pop that little bit more. And then to give it that real sort of refined drop shadow, then go into a slightly darker. And it's the same when I'm doing drop shadows with my colouring as it is when I'm actually creating my drop shadows with my die cuts. I like to have the drop shadow slightly to the left and slightly down. And that's exactly what I'm doing with the letters here, just to give that a little bit of like a faux shadow. And it really does bring that off the page that little bit more and makes a focus of that gorgeous sentiment in the middle. I'd carry on with that same sort of technique, that I always use in my colouring, where I start off with my lightest. It doesn't matter if I'm using my tri-lens or I'm using my classics or illustrators, any alcohol-based marker, I go from light, medium and dark, and that's going to give you that lovely smooth blend transition. And then we'll just do a little bit of fussy cutting to actually get that image out of the page. It looks lovely as a standalone topper like that, but if you want it separate, then by all means you can go in and actually fussy cut that out. Nice and easy, just take your pair of scissors, it could be your largest pair like your 6-inch like I'm using here, or go in with your little, as I always call them, the little snippy scissors, your little 4.5-inch, and you're going to get that beautiful design. Now we're just going to give that a little bit of shape, so just rolling that round with my fingers just like so. That's going to give that little bit of curve, really does bring it to life. And just to keep that curve when we pop that onto our card base, we're going to pop some foam onto the back, but we're just going to go in with foam into the centre rather than popping it all over that piece. Can do the same sort of thing with your, as our Debbie calls it, our chunky glue, our 3D collal glue. Glue gel, or you can go in with your foam pads into the middle of there just to actually keep that dimension. So that's going to go on that left hand panel. Trying to decide if I want it straight or at an angle. Let's keep it nice and straight like so. Then to finish it off, I've also got a little sentiment that I've die cut. I have actually fussy cutted out of that paper pad. So nice and easy to actually fussy cut that out. You could be using your guillotine or your trimmers on those as well. A lot of the items within that topper pad are very easy to cut out by hand. So you don't need to be Lily scissor hands to actually be able to cut those out. It's nice and easy, a shape like that. Then just to finish it off, I had the glitter paste out the other night, so I thought, you know what, let's create our own embellishments. And although our stencil is actually a 5-inch square stencil, so you can see there you've got that lovely full 5-inch square design. You don't always have to use that full sort of aspect of the stencil. So what I've done is I've just glitter pasted through a small portion, and I'm just going to take my scissors. I'm actually going to fussy cut these out to use them as embellishments. So anything like this, it could be a stencil, it could be an embossing folder. Quite often we think of just using that full section, the full panel, whether it's a 5x5, whether it's a 6x4. You don't always have to use that full aspect. You can cut them down into borders, or you can even snip into them like we're doing here to create your very own little embellishment. So I think we'll have one onto the top, and then we've got a full little snowflake here. And like I always say, if you've got excess cardstock at the edges, just remove that so you're not fighting with all that cardstock around the outside. And then you're just going to go in with your scissors, just nice and quickly fussy cutting it around this. You could even be going in with something like a little circle nesting die and cutting these out as little circle toppers. That would work beautifully as well. But just going in with your scissors here is going to allow you to cut these out as completely standalone embellishments, and it's just going to get everything tying together nicely with the glitter paste onto our separate piece there, and then onto our main card base with our couple of snowflake fussy cut elements. So foam pad onto the back of that one is just going to elevate that up from our card base. So I think we'll have one down here, something like that. And then the top one is just going to have some more foam onto the reverse as well to get that standing proud from our card base, and that's just going to finish that design off there. So we went from this design here, which was my source of inspiration in the magazine. Absolutely love that card shape, but we've put our own little spin on it to create something entirely different. Same card shape, different decoration, but that technique with the glitter paste on the ribbon, guys at home, you absolutely have to try that. It is so much fun.
That is gorgeous. Really like that. Would never have thought of using that kind of card shape, but I really like that. Kendall's asked, what collection does the magazine go with?
Oh, that is a great question. So the papers are almost like some of our papers in the My Special Papers, but the stamps itself, that's more like Nature's Garden, Holly and Ivy.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. Fantastic. That's brilliant. And Margaret was saying, because we were asking Lily what her first paper pad was, Margaret says her first was Mediterranean Dreams, which wasn't that long ago, but she's got loads now.
Oh, it does snowball pretty quickly.
It really does. I loved Mediterranean Dreams.
Oh, it's gorgeous, isn't it?
It was really,
Yeah.
really nice, very joyful collection. Mine was a Winter White.
Winter White was beautiful.
And I got the whole collection. I was quite lucky.
Oh, yeah.
Because it sold out really quickly,
It did. It
Yeah.
was it birthday?
Yeah,
I think it was birthday. That was the first year that I started here, Winter White, and it was so popular. Yeah, I think it was, I want to say it was Leanne that launched it, if I remember rightly.
Oh, I don't remember. See, encyclopedic knowledge.
See, I've got a strange memory. Strange memory for certain little random bits of nuggets of information.
Yeah.
I've still got the paper pad. I've not got a lot of the collection though.
Oh,
Maybe somewhere I've got it stashed, who knows?
everything in the collection. And that was before I even worked here. That long ago. Right, another item that we've got on the show is the 12 by 12 My Special Papers. This is a Christmas edition. These are just gorgeous. So you'll get them and they'll arrive in this fantastic box. It's a very meaty box. To give you an idea, it's quite hefty. And these are all 12 by 12 papers. They are single-sided, they are uncoated, and there is something here for everybody. So you've got sort of super modern stuff, you've almost got sort of cartoony things, you've got others, almost ethereal kind of designs in here as well. Ones with nativity in them, ones with like traditional kind of Christmassy imagery in here. There is absolutely every single thing you could possibly imagine that's Christmassy. I mean, look at that. Very kind of almost like Hessian kind of feel to that one. Other ones that are going to work really well as scrapbook pages, or perhaps you want to use them for making a bag. You might want to be using them for a card, or you might want to use them, like I do, for wrapping up presents, particularly little pieces of jewellery. These work really well for. There is so much in here. So you've got 240 sheets altogether. That is 120 different designs. You're going to get 2 pages of everything. And you'll find that there are some pages in here that you think, oh yeah, I recognise that one. It's that Watercolour Christmas.
It is, yep.
Oh,
yeah,
see, I'm getting good at
You're
this.
getting training ready for the game tonight.
So you may find in here there are things that you think, oh yeah, I've got some of that. There may be other collections that you missed out on, but there's also some different designs in here that you would not have seen before. £49.99 or $59.99. Platinum is $39.99 or $47.99. But you don't just want one. You want to take advantage of the fact that if you buy 2, you get 20% off, and if you buy 3, you get 30% off, and if you buy 4, you'll be even happier. That's what I'm going to say. Because these make great Christmas presents, really, really useful. Why not take advantage of getting them all and having them all shipped together at the same sort of time? So that is a really good deal. Now, we have Pat sent us a picture of the Inspiration magazine. Is that the one? We think that's the last relaunch.
It's not the original. Pat, I am talking literally over 10 years ago. Because you see that little picture of Sarah? That's a lot more recent. The very old ones, she was, as she said, she was a wee little bairn.
Was she?
She was. She was very, very young back then, over a decade ago. So that is an issue 1, but I'm thinking the one before that. I'm going back, honestly, it must be over a decade. But yeah, that's another fabulous magazine. I think the dies in there, that looks like, was the Night Before Christmas, I think, the dies with that one.
Yeah. Oh, see what I mean? Lily just looking at a die and going, oh yeah, I know what collection that is. That is that's very impressive, Lily.
Thank you.
Right, we've got one more demo. Well, we haven't got much longer of the show, have we?
We'll be fine.
We'll be fine.
We'll be fine.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to go for a quick break to give you the advantage for checking out your baskets. Make sure you put these in there and probably put 10 in your basket, I reckon. Don't just go for 1 or 2, go for 10. We'll see you in a couple of moments.
Come in, check my emails, then lay the shows out in the studio, set pack shots up. Then I will get new polls, pick shows, solve any problems that need solving. We deal with other teams where we receive marketing suites, we receive boards. We pick samples to send to Hobby Maker. We pick samples to send to QVC. We will take the previous shows out of the studios, set the new shows up. We do floor manage occasionally, not all the time, making sure that the craft expert presenters have everything at hand that they need. Anything that they haven't got during shows, we will run about and get the products for them. Think on a morning when it's really quiet, I can get more done when there's nobody else in the building. Night owl. Morning. Coffee on a morning, tea the rest of the day. Savoury. Normally lunchtime. Craft along. Mobile phone. Christina's chicken wrap. Barry White, you're my first, my last, my everything. Go home and make the tea.
My day-to-day is pretty busy in work. Literally, I get in the door, I check my polls, I then check what I've got to demo, I then get everything ready, and it's just busy, busy, busy from there. I have a meeting with the producer, the director, we get then sorted for the shows, talk to the presenter, and it depends what side I'm on. I mean, sometimes I'm doing the presenting side, sometimes I'm doing the demonstration side, and I love both. It's actually who I get to work with. That's, yeah, I can't say no more than that other than anybody that works here. We are a big family. We're so super friendly. I love Ben. I love it when we work together. And I don't mean that I don't love anyone else. It's the fact that Ben is the presenter and then I'm demonstrating and we just have this great rapport. Same with Craig, same with Deb, same with the whole team. So yeah, the best part of the day is just getting to work with the best people in the industry. Oh, a night out. In the morning. Oh, none. I only drink water. Oh, well, I'm cutting out sugar, so it's got to be savoury. Masterclass. Oh, I can't leave the house without my lipstick. Oh, I love a baked potato. I relax, so I literally drive home normally and then I relax.
Hello everybody, welcome back. I haven't seen Debbie Fisher in eons. Eons. She's here next week.
Yeah.
I'm not here next week. Very disappointing. I'm going to leave Debbie a note in the house.
Oh.
Yes. Like, I can't remember where you are, but I can give you a note. In fact, there was one evening where Debbie and I was at the house, and there was one other of the craft experts coming in, and they came in really, really late. And so we made up their bed for them, and we put some water by their bed. I think we also found a packet of chocolate and put that on their pillow, so it's like a hotel. That's how no rose petals in the room. That would be a little excessive. But, you know, some ambient lighting, some music playing. It was quite nice. Right, Lily, we need to get going on another demo because all of them have been absolutely fantastic, and I'm sure you're going to pull even more beautifulness out of your bag now.
I do hope so.
Yep.
Talking of pulling things out of our bag, wow, seamless. Now, I want to be honest with you guys at home. Now, we do, of course, have the launch of the amazing magazine today, but I know a lot of you may have been waiting for the launch of the Christmas gift bag pad. Not easy for me to say. I'll get my teeth in for that gift bag pad. Now, this was due to launch today alongside the magazine, but unfortunately, it's been ever so slightly delayed. It will be coming to you in hopefully next week, if not the week after, but I was so excited about this. Do you know what I said to producer Johnny? I said, Johnny, I'm sorry, I'm still going to use it in demo. I don't care. There's going to be no response to that. I'm going to use it because you guys at home, I know a lot of you will be waiting for this, but it is on its way. But I do want to show you how you can incorporate this gorgeous gift bag pad into your magazine crafting. Now, these are very similar in terms of design and layout to the ones that we brought you last year. There may very well be a Halloween one coming on Monday. That's all I'm going to say. But this is our Christmas variation.
Spoiler.
Just a little bit. The inside is that gorgeous plaid design. So if you want that to be outside, if you want something with that more gorgeous, perhaps masculine design, of course you can use that on the outside. But you've got that gorgeous design there on the reverse. Isn't that stunning with all the levels of detail onto there? You've got all of your score lines, so it's very easy just to fold those and to pop this together. But all we've gone ahead and done with this one is we've taken one of our matte and layer dies, that's one of our 5 inches by 7 inch matte and layer rectangle dies, and we've die cut an aperture into one of the sides there. I thought how gorgeous to have that lovely design in the inside actually shining through onto the outer of that bag. So that's what we've done with one of our dies. And then at this point we've actually taken that die again, but we've cut it with a slightly larger die. So we've got our rectangle frame, we've popped some of our acetate into there. The amount of times you see me on air saying, I'm sure I've got a piece of acetate, but I can't find it. I thought, do you know what? To save us that whole debacle once again, we'll stick that to our frame ready to go. And we've actually popped some of our foam tape. It's the one that I call the wheel because it's rather quite large when you first get this one home. It's that nice thin foam tape which can actually bend round curves as well. We've popped that all around the edge of that frame. And that's just going to frame that aperture that we've got into our bag. But the other night I did talk about my little glitter paste discovery the other night. So I was on a little bit of a roll when it came to the glitter paste. So I thought, do you know what? I'll use another of those glitter pastes within that Christmas glitter paste bundle. This one being the Snow Angel. And one of my absolute favourite things to do is take a plain piece of acetate. So this just started off life as a plain regular piece of acetate. It's great, but let's be honest, it's a little bit boring. We can make that look a little bit prettier by bringing in a stencil, bringing in our glitter paste. Bringing those two elements together is going to give you your custom
that looks
glitter pasted acetate. I mean, you pay a fortune. And I have to say, years and years ago, I bought a pack of acetate, and it was like a glitter finish with snowflakes on it. There was probably about 10 in the pack, and I paid an absolute fortune for it. So much so that I could not bring myself to use it because it was that pretty. It's one of those, almost too good to use. And that's just going to actually be popped into the inside of our gift bag just to cover where we've got our aperture there. So we were talking earlier about our tape pen. We can be using our tape pen onto our acetate as well and our construction because it is so super strong. So some of that tape is going to go around the edge there. I actually want the textures side so you can feel the ridges where we've gone through the stencil with our glitter paste. I want that showing, so we're just going to have that so it's showing through the aperture. Smooth side on the reverse as we see this from the inside. And that's just going to be layered onto there just like so. Make sure you give it a little bit of a burnish to ensure that that glue is sort of activated and that's nicely stuck onto our aperture there. So you can see you've got that gorgeous design. Doesn't it look lovely when you've got that blue behind it? Gives it almost like a greeny hue. And that's the beauty of the Snow Angel. It really does sort of catch the light in different ways depending on the different colour that you've got behind. So that's that part good to go. And then we've got our aperture that's going to go onto there. But I've gone almost a whole show without creating a shaker. But I couldn't make quite the full show, so I thought, you know what, let's bring in a few shaker elements to this. I'm sure regular viewers will know I love a shaker card, but in this case, let's take it one step further and create a shaker gift bag. So I like the idea that we can sort of see a little bit to the contents of what's inside this gift bag. Maybe it's going to be some expensive jewellery, maybe it's going to be chocolates, maybe you've, I don't know, hand knitted a scarf or something like that. You're going to have a little bit of a peek into that gift bag, but you're not going to be able to see properly because we're going to obscure it a little bit by using this shaker element over that aperture. Something I love doing when it comes to shakers is actually mixing up the shaker inclusions. So we're starting off with our Yuletide iridescent even, another one that I have to get my teeth around, our Yuletide iridescent sequins into the middle, and then just to make sure our sequins don't stick to the foam. I do find it a lot easier to actually remove the backing of the foam first, then put my sequins in, then stick it together.
I think you should be doing lots of shakers in, you know, in deference to the fact that Taylor Swift's doing her concerts, and it's all. My daughter messaged me just before the show to show me that she'd managed to get tickets.
Oh wow!
For Saturday.
Wow!
Oh, yeah, I'm really. I was very excited for her because she's been desperate to go, as is her boyfriend, desperate to go because he loves Taylor Swift, and he can identify any Taylor Swift song from the first 2 notes.
Good grief! Wow, that's a talent
No,
in
not
itself,
lyrics,
isn't
notes.
it?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's a great talent. I don't know if he's ever going to earn any money from it, but
Well, in this day and age, who knows? He could very well do just that. Now, back to the shaker. A few different
Shake it
ways in
off.
which you can
Shake
create
it
this. We're not going to shake these sequins off. We're going to keep them into the shaker. No shaking them off. So what you can do is you can pour your shakers over that element, then pop your frame over the top. But I find this way is super, super easy. I'm finding I'm using this technique more and more often. Pop a piece of acetate behind. So you pour your sequins into that recess there. Pop some of your acetate behind, and then that's going to go onto that element there. And you've got that little sneaky peek of some of those gorgeous little glitter paste elements that we've got onto the actual piece of acetate on the inside of there. But then we've got that shaker element over the top, which is really going to frame it up absolutely beautifully. So plenty of adhesive going onto the back of that piece there. We only need adhesive around the edge where we've got our foam tape. Obviously that adhesive's not going to be seen, so we don't need to worry about that whatsoever. A little bit of tacky glue. Just take tacky glue a little bit longer to dry when you are popping it onto some of your something that's non-porous like your acetate. So do just give that a little bit longer to dry, and then just making sure that I've lined that up, making sure it's nice and central, and we've got that lovely shaker element over the top of our gift bag, just like so. Doesn't that look pretty?
that's really good.
Isn't
What
that
a cool
pretty?
idea. Would never have thought of that.
Super, super easy to create when you have got your fabulous gift bag pads, which, like I said, they are coming very, very soon. So that's where we've got our shaker element onto the front of there. We've got some of our glitter paste behind, but at this point, we're actually going to start to build up this gift bag. We're going to keep it nice and simple. But before we do just that, let's bring in one of those sentiments that's actually part of our magazine paper pack. So foam tape, as always, or foam pads in this case, is going to go into the centre of this just to raise it proud a little bit. I think this is exactly the same sentiment I actually used onto the last card. Super, super versatile, little sort of like tag shape to be added to both your cards and your gift bags like we're doing here. And then that's going to go into the middle of our little shaker element there, making sure it's nice and straight and lined up. As always, using the lines and grid lines on my glass mat to help line all those together. And then in order to actually construct this, first of all, we need tape onto that tab there. So we've got that long tab. As we look at it now, it's on the right-hand side. And we just need some of our adhesive all the way along that tab. Going in with my tape pen, we will be sticking some other elements with my red liner tape. I'd say those two are your go-tos when it comes to actually creating anything construction-based. You can, of course, use your tacky glue, but for something like this, when it's 3D construction, you will just need to take a few moments to actually allow that adhesive to grab. So something like a peg or your quilting clips is going to be what you're going to need to use to actually make sure that glue does grab and hold. So that's the first part. We stick the two pieces together. So we've got that continuous, almost like cylindrical shape to that. And then we focus on the bottom. So what we do first is we fold in, we've got our 2 shorter tabs and then we've got our 2 longer tabs. So fold in your 2 shorter tabs first.
Okay.
And then we're going to go in with this one where you've got almost like your 2 legs to it. And on the reverse of there, we have got our red liner tape. Let's see if I spend the rest of the show now peeling off this backing. This is the thing about red liner. That tape, not only is it an absolute little so-and-so to remove from your cardstock, that backing, believe you me guys, it only gets everywhere, absolutely everywhere. The amount of places I find that is
Have you gone
not
out
worrying.
and noticed that people are giving you a funny look and then realise there's a bit stuck on your forehead?
Do you know what? A place I had it once, I had it in my hairline. And I walked through to my bedroom and I looked in the mirror and thought, why have I got a load of red hair at the front of me? What's gone off here? It was a bit of red liner tape backing all the time. Get on the bottom of my slippers, on the bottom of my feet. It gets absolutely everywhere. It's a great tape, but it can be a little bit of a nightmare to play with. Now what I quite like to do with this, now I've stuck the base together, if you're popping something really quite heavy into here, all you're going to do is you're going to cut a rectangle of card that's exactly the same size as that base, or just ever so slightly smaller, and you're going to stick that inside, and that's going to reinforce that base if you so need to. But what I quite like to do, at the edges here, there's no score line in that centre section, but I quite like to actually just fold that together, to sort of pinch that together. I think it gives it a really quite a nice finishing effect, just to pinch that side together, and then do exactly the same on the other side there, just to allow that to flatten down a little bit more. I think that gives it a nice finishing touch. And we did talk about the nightmare of doing red liner tape, but something I always say I will never do on air, or at least try not to, is tie a ribbon bow, and I'm about to go against everything. We'll give it a go. We might end up just sticking the tag on, but I have to say I don't like tying bows. Some people are absolutely brilliant with them, and they sort of grab the ribbon and they do some sort of magic trick, and next thing you know it's in this incredible ribbon bow. I'm most certainly not one of those people. So we shall see how this goes. But just going for a couple of those tags there, that will be included as part of that gift bag pad. I just thought layering them together would give you that little bit of fullness, which finishes it off quite nicely. So some more of the ribbon from my endless ribbon stash here. This is one that's got a nice bit of almost like silver glitter running through there, which I think is quite fabulous for Christmas. And then we're just going to tie this into a little ribbon bow. This is the only way that I know how to tie bows. I'm sure there's a less clunky way, but we managed it. There we go. And all we need to do just to finish that off, just pull the ties until you're happy with the size of that bow. Just even that one out a little bit. And then just to finish it off. And I have to say, I'm feeling the pressure as well, given I am stood next to a seamstress who I'm sure ties beautiful ribbon bows in her sleep. But I did manage it, so that's the achievement for the day. Thank you. Yes, I do definitely deserve a round of applause.
Yeah, of
and
course
there
you
we
do.
go. We have got our finished gift bag pad. Like I said, those beautiful pads are launching next week, but it's just showing you how you can use some of the items from your magazine. So you're using that gorgeous sentiment and that fabulous stencil as well with your glitter paste. You can create those. Can you imagine your Christmas table? Perhaps instead of having a Christmas table setting, each and every single person has got one of these. Not only is it that name setting, but you've also got it filled with perhaps after dinner mints or little Christmas goodies as well. I love them. They are so much fun to put together.
That is absolutely lovely. Comments, Nefertiti says, wow, Limmy's demos are amazing. They really are. Rosalind says, the shaker window really does elevate the gift bag. And Amani said, the shaker bag is brilliant. Looks so effective. Really, really like that. And I like the idea of having that on the table when filled with chocolate mints.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't you want that? I do like mint chocolate.
How could you not?
I don't like mint.
See, I don't particularly, but if it's in chocolate, it's totally different, isn't it?
I mean, I don't like mushrooms, but I'd probably eat them if they were dipped in chocolate.
Oh.
I don't think I would actually like mushrooms.
I think it'd be quite nice.
Chocolate. No, I don't think so.
I've got some mushrooms in my lunch. If anybody's got any chocolate, we'll try it.
I don't know. I mean, I'd probably eat the chocolate off the mushrooms.
This is true. You'd be like a child where they eat the centre of the toast and they don't eat the crust. That would be you. You'd eat the chocolate, not the poor little mushroom.
Or I used to like chocolate Brazils, but I used to eat one or two of the nuts, but the rest of them I just eat the chocolate around.
Oh, I love a chocolate Brazil. That's something we always used to get me dad for Christmas. Either walnut whips, or it would be a chocolate Brazil.
Oh, I love a walnut whip. Delicious.
Oh, yeah.
Do you get walnut whips in the States? Let us know.
Oh, walnut whips, you can't beat them, can you?
No, maybe we'll have to go shopping later.
They've got some at the post office in the town centre.
Oh, have they?
Yes.
Go on then, Lily.
That's our 3 hours sorted, eh? No emails will be getting answered between the shows, just to put the out of office on. We're on the hunt for walnut whips.
Absolutely, and I couldn't go because I'm going to be covering my face with jewels.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Right. Now the showstopper, this is definitely worth popping in your basket if you want to go for the magazine, because the Showstopper provides you with the best value. So you're going to be getting the magazine with those 185 different ideas and projects in there. There's all sorts of information, including the interview with the staff at the Evesham shop. And I did have a message from Margaret who says a big shout out to Rachel in the Evesham Crafters Companion shop, which is in the magazine. They are so helpful and lovely, and the classes are superb and the staff are fantastic. So that's always nice to hear. So you can learn more about them in there. But of course, you're going to be getting other freebies in that magazine. You're also going to be getting in the Showstopper your gilding flakes in the gold, red and green, and you're going to be getting some foam pads, you'll be getting a tape pen, and you'll also be getting your red luxury cardstock pack, which has got mirrored cardstock, matte mirrored cardstock and encapsulated glitter card. The price for that is £40 or $50, and platinum price is £32 or $40, and you will get 100 bonus points if you want to go ahead with this. But of course, if you didn't want to do that and you just want to go for the magazine, you can do that, and that's no problem at all. You're only going to get 50 bonus points there, but obviously you're not going to get all the other goodies, but you're going to get all the goodies that come inside that magazine just for £14.99 or $19.99. Platinum is $11.99 or $15.99. Thank you very much, Lily. Those demos were fantastic as always.
Oh, thank you very much.
And you and me later on tonight.
Yes.
A bit of glitter for Friday Night Live, and we're going to see who's going to win the games. Better be me, because I haven't won for the last few weeks and I'm not very happy about it. I want to win.
So do I.
Do let us, make sure you message in if you want to show us your photographs of what you've been making. That's studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk. And do join us at 5 o'clock. We're going to have a fantastic show. Watch Lily thrash me in the games, as she always does. And do take advantage of having a look at the website and all of those fantastic deals, especially on that global clearance. The deals there, I mean, they're not going to be there for very long. Take advantage. We will see you back in a couple of hours. Take care. Bye-bye.